Chapter 48:28. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. He had no idea what Mu Qinyu was up to. Lin Feng said, "That's not very good. After all, only married couples or lovers can drink cross-cupped wine. I'm a conservative person. I really can't do such a thing." Lin Feng felt that what he had just said wasn't true. The main reason was that he didn't want to have too much contact with Mu Qinyu. Hence, Lin Feng felt that Mu Qinyu was trying to get close to him because of some unspeakable secret. He had to be on guard against her. Hence, when faced with Mu Qinyu's various seductions, Lin Feng looked indifferent the whole time. Moreover, Lin Feng felt that Mu Qinyu was a little too open. Hence, no matter how beautiful she was, Lin Feng didn't want to have too much intimate contact with her. "Look at your handsome face. It's actually turning red. I was just joking with you." Mu Qinyu stood up and returned to her seat. She was as beautiful and charming as ever. Lin Feng said, "I didn't expect you to be such a humorous person." Mu Qinyu giggled and said, "Truth be told, I really do admire young master. I wonder, what do you think of me?" Mu Qinyu was a vixen. Her words were very bold and full of provocation. Lin Feng naturally didn't take Mu Qinyu's words to heart. He said, "The apocalypse is coming. Hence, I've placed all my attention on cultivation. If it weren't for the apocalypse, I might have chosen to pursue you." Lin Feng's words were a mix of truth and lies. Mu Qinyu naturally knew that Lin Feng's words couldn't be taken seriously. Hence, she smiled and said, "If that's the case, you and I aren't fated to be together?" Lin Feng said, "Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to survive until the next era. At that time, we might be able to continue our relationship." Mu Qinyu said, "Actually, I feel that since we can't predict the future, why don't we enjoy the wonderful things and people that life brings to us when we're at the peak of our lives?" Lin Feng muttered in his heart. This Mu Qinyu had been hinting at him time and time again. He really didn't know what she was thinking. Lin Feng's attitude was still the same as before. He said, "You're really open-minded, fairy, but everyone is different, so everyone has different ideas. For example, Fairy and I have different ideas. Everyone has their own ambitions. Since we've chosen the path we want to take, we won't give up halfway." Mu Qinyu seemed to understand Lin Feng's attitude from Lin Feng's words, so she didn't pursue the matter any further. Lin Feng didn't stop after leaving Mu Qinyu's place. He headed straight for his residence. At night, White Bone City was still very lively. However, there seemed to be a trace of madness and sadness in the midst of this bustling life. Lin Feng returned to his residence. The estate they lived in was very large, with 10 individual courtyards. Each courtyard was several hundred meters away from each other. When Lin Feng returned, he heard the sound of a zither not far away. He thought that it was a peerless beauty playing the zither with the moonlight. However, when he got closer, he realized the person playing the zither was actually a blind man. Other than the blind man, there were also a few people standing next to the blind man. Those people also seemed to be people with incomplete bodies. Lin Feng suddenly thought of the demiurge flawed 4 freaks. He didn't know where they had run off to. Lin Feng ignored the 4 strange cultivators and walked toward his residence. Not long after, Lin Feng walked to a place not far from the 4 freaks. Ding! Suddenly, the sound of a zither rang out. When he heard the sound of the zither, Lin Feng felt like his head was about to explode. This feeling, it was really quite uncomfortable, because Lin Feng felt that his body was on the verge of collapsing. It was as if he would fall to the ground at any time. Something's wrong. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. It was the sound of a zither. It was the sound of the blind man's zither that affected him. Lin Feng came back to his senses at this time. Fortunately, his soul force was strong enough to resolve the effect of the zither sound on his soul. Lin Feng looked at the 4 cultivators. He said with an indifferent expression, "Your zither sound can silently affect other people's souls. What a good method. Lin Gongzi is also a good method to be able to resolve the effect of my zither sound in an instant. There aren't many people with such ability at this age." The blind man said. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Thank you for the compliment. However, I'm very curious about who the 4 of you are. Waiting here for me to come back, you should want to kill me, right?" The blind man said, We have accepted the mission to kill you, and will be able to get an incomparably generous reward. Of course, the four of us are also very interested in you. We heard that the treasures and supernatural powers on you are all top-notch. These things, we want them all. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes at the four people and said, So, you are all assassins? Could it be that you are from the Blood Prison Assassin Dynasty? Lin Feng had already come into contact with this assassin dynasty before. He had also successfully subdued Su Ruyan of the Blood Prison Assassin Dynasty. Moreover, Lin Feng had heard Su Ruyan mention some things about the Blood Prison Assassin Dynasty. Su Ruyan said that the assassins of the Blood Prison Assassin Dynasty were all strange. They were fundamentally different from the assassins of many assassin dynasties. The assassins of other assassin dynasties were really just assassins. However, the assassins of the Blood Prison Assassin Dynasty could be peddlers, beggars, shop assistants, brothels, hooligans, or even teachers. They could be everything. So, it could also be the four people in front of him. Looking at the four strange people who were somewhat down and out. However, who would dare to underestimate them? The blind man said, Your Excellency is really a smart person to be able to guess our identities. Lin Feng said, Actually, to be honest, your identities are not particularly difficult to guess. Then, are you ready to die? The blind man asked. I should be the one to send the four of you to your deaths. Lin Feng's voice became cold. Swish. In the next moment, with a flash of light, the black dragon sword appeared in Lin Feng's hand. Lin Feng held the black dragon sword in his hand and rushed towards the four assassins. Fighting 3,000 miles in one go, fighting against 1,000,000 soldiers with a single sword. Suddenly, the blind man spoke, his right hand plucking the strings of the zither. Suddenly. Chapter 48-29. The Blind Man's Poem. It was really full of momentum. His poem had already merged with the sound of the zither, turning into a supreme sword chi. Lin Feng could feel the terror of that sword chi. Clang. Lin Feng held the black dragon sword and swept towards the incoming sword chi, accompanied by a clanging sound of collision. The black dragon sword in Lin Feng's hand collided with the sword chi. In an instant, Lin Feng felt as if he had been hit by a divine mountain moving quickly in the void. That feeling. It was really terrible. He was sent flying, but his blood and chi were rolling, and his hands were almost broken. Terrifying. It was really too terrifying. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. Today, he had really met his match. This was only the blind man's attack, but there were four of them. The other three had yet to make their move. Not bad. You were able to block my attack, which means that you have some ability. Although the blind man couldn't see, he could hear everything. What kind of zither song is this? Lin Feng took a deep breath and said, Ambush from all sides. The blind man said, although he had been blind for many years, he was still full of energy. He couldn't be underestimated. This was an extremely terrifying existence. Ambush from all sides. What a good name. It seems that the four of you have made sufficient preparations. Lin Feng said, Yes, when we accepted this mission, you were already a dead man. The blind man said. He was very confident. Not to mention, even if he couldn't kill Lin Feng, he still had a team. His team. It was very terrifying. Lin Feng took out the ruler's armor and wrapped it around his body. At the same time, Lin Feng was able to communicate with his avatar, the magic lotus, the golden dwarf, and the ruler's armor's power. The power within them continuously flowed into Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's battle strength had reached the peak level. Go to hell. Lin Feng held the black dragon sword and quickly charged towards his opponent. A heart-wrenching song. Where can I find a soulmate in the world? Blind's voice was cold as he plucked the zither again. Clanging sounds shook the void. Streaks of sword chi condensed and slashed towards Lin Feng. Blade storm. Lin Feng couldn't help but roar as he swept out with his sword. Boundless sword chi formed a devastating storm with him as the center. Then, Lin Feng hid within the storm of swords and charged forward at high speed. Blind used the Guqin to sweep out the sword chi. They were all sucked into the storm of swords. In the end, it was destroyed by the storm of swords. Sinner's Blood Emperor. His reputation is well-deserved, Blind said. Zither and flute ensemble. The blind man continued. Mute nodded and held the jade flute in his hand. Together with Blind, they played the zither and flute together. They had obviously changed the tune. The tune they changed to was even wilder and more unrestrained, bursting with a terrifying power that left others in awe. Roar! A low roar was heard. Under the combination of the zither and flute, grim reapers with blood-colored demonic blades condensed. Those grim reapers all charged towards Lin Feng. Bang! Along with the violent collision, there was a sudden sound. Lin Feng's storm of swords collided with the attacks of the grim reapers. Lin Feng was once again sent flying. Cough, cough. This time, Lin Feng coughed out a mouthful of blood. Lin Feng even forgot when was the last time he was injured. Assassins of the Blood Prison Dynasty. They were actually so terrifying. Lin Feng finally saw the terror of the Blood Prison Dynasty. What song was that just now? Lin Feng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and asked. Guangling San. Blind said. Guangling San? Lin Feng was surprised. He had heard of Guangling San. It was originally a peerless song, but in your hands, it became a song to kill. Lin Feng said. Blind said, we slightly changed the song. This is called making the best use of everything. What a good, making the best use of everything. I didn't expect that the four of you, neither human nor ghost, had such a deep understanding of music. Lin Feng said indifferently, you're about to die, yet you still dare to mock us. Since that's the case, we'll quickly send you to the Western Paradise. Blind's voice was cold. As soon as he finished speaking, Yizichen's voice fell. He continued to play the zither and flute with mute. Roar! Roars were heard again. A large number of Grim Reapers appeared. Holding blood-colored blades, they charged towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng had just fought with these Grim Reapers, so he knew how terrifying they were. Facing the attacks of these Grim Reapers, he didn't dare to be careless. Bell of Hell, come out! Lin Feng waved his hand and summoned the bell. Powerful magic power continuously poured into the Bell of Hell. As for the Hell King Bell, it began to grow bigger and bigger. It didn't take long for the Hell King Bell to become as big as a mountain. Lin Feng carried the Bell of Hell and charged forward. Countless runes on the Bell of Hell flickered. The runes vibrated and emitted a strange power. But when those powers swept across the Grim Reaper's army, then a shocking scene occurred. The Grim Reaper's army, it dissipated quickly. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng couldn't help but reveal a look of joy. As expected of the Bell of Hell, it was the nemesis of these Grim Reapers. Thinking about it, it made sense. The Bell of Hell was a treasure created by the Lord of the Underworld. The Grim Reapers were only one of the main gods in the era of the Underworld titled gods. Back then, they were suppressed by the Lord of the Underworld. Therefore, it wasn't surprising that the Bell of Hell could restrain the Grim Reaper's army. After all, the Grim Reaper's army was just a Grim Reaper's army formed when the zither and flute were played together. It wasn't the real Grim Reaper's army. What treasure is this? Blind asked. Cripple laughed strangely and said, if I'm not wrong, it should be the legendary Bell of Hell, the treasure of the first Lord of the Underworld. Blind became excited and said, good stuff, really good stuff. I've long heard that you have some amazing treasures. Today, we've finally seen it. But these treasures are destined to belong to us. Junior brothers, let's show some of our true skills. All right, the other three nodded. Blind began to pluck the zither strings. When the first voice rang out, a voice rang out. Lin Feng suddenly felt a slight pain in his heart. Evidently, the attack they had unleashed was a joint attack by those people. Although he didn't know what kind of move it was, it must be many times more terrifying than before. Lin Feng increased his speed, wanting to stop the four assassins. It's too late. Have a taste of our death zither. Blind laughed eerily. As soon as he finished speaking, the four assassins all attacked. Blind played the zither. Deaf played the flute. Mute played the flute. In a flash, Lin Feng had the feeling that an invisible and intangible strength was penetrating into his body. His body was sent flying backwards. Chapter 48:30. The Daluo chessboard. Lin Feng was shocked. The method in front of him was very similar to the Daluo chessboard that the Red World Fairy had created. The Daluo chessboard was a world of its own. Once someone was swallowed into it, they would be trapped inside until they died. They would never be able to come out again. Only someone with heaven-defying strength could break the seal of the Daluo chessboard. The Red World Fairy was powerful in this aspect. She had cultivated 3,000 great Daos, and these 3,000 great Daos were only the foundation of her cultivation. The Red World Fairy had created all kinds of peerless magic on the foundation of her cultivation. Even when compared to the supreme existences of the era of titled gods, the magic created by the Red World Fairy was not inferior at all. In this aspect, even Lin Feng was far from being able to compare. However, Lin Feng soon discovered a problem. The world formed by the chessboard was very similar to the Red World Fairy's Daluo chessboard. But to be honest, there was still a big difference between it and the Red World Fairy's Daluo chessboard. The Daluo chessboard contained the Daluo heavens and the will of the Great Tao of Freedom. This will of the Great Tao was actually the Red World Fairy's own will of the Great Tao. However, the method used by this assassin did not have such a will. Apart from that, Lin Feng suddenly thought of the chessboard that he had seen in the assassin's hand before. In that case, the world in front of him was actually created by the chessboard and not by magic. This was completely different from the chessboard world that the Red World Fairy had created. The Red World Fairy's world was created by magic. Ha 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 ha, kid, you're trapped in my chessboard world. Have you thought about how you're going to die? The crippled assassin outside the chessboard world laughed proudly. To be able to trap Lin Feng, the emperor of the sinner's blood, this was naturally something to be proud of. These four assassins had been working together for many years. So, they were very skilled at working together. They had trapped Lin Feng the moment they attacked. In their view, Lin Feng was no different from a dead man. The other three assassins also revealed a grim expression. Next, the problem was how to kill Lin Feng. Kill him, Blind said. He was the leader of the four. Everyone listened to Blind's instructions. Hearing Blind's words, Cripple nodded. He controlled the chessboards in the chessboard world and attacked Lin Feng. In the world formed by the chessboard, Lin Feng felt that his body was completely imprisoned. It was very difficult for them to move. Therefore, they could only watch as the chessboard, which was as huge as a mountain, flew towards them. Then, kill him. Such a situation was naturally extremely dangerous. Great Tao of Destiny, please send down the power of destiny and let me pass through this illusory world and return to the real world. Lin Feng began to chant an incantation. After he finished speaking, Yizichen's voice fell. A loud rumbling sound immediately reverberated between heaven and earth. Next, a long river of destiny descended from the sky and swept towards Lin Feng. After Lin Feng was swept up by the long river of destiny, his body regained its mobility. Under the protection of the long river of destiny, Lin Feng flew out. The huge mountain-like chess pieces were all sent flying by the long river of destiny. Not good. Cripple's expression suddenly changed when he saw this scene. Obviously, Cripple did not expect such a thing to happen. He began to seal the void of the chessboard world, wanting to trap Lin Feng. But Lin Feng relied on the terrifying power contained in the long river of destiny to rush out. Great river of destiny, please suppress all the evil in this world. After flying out of the chessboard world, Lin Feng continued to chant an incantation. The long river of destiny immediately flew towards the four great assassins. Then, it descended from the sky. Like a Milky Way, it rushed towards the four great assassins. Quickly retreat. The expressions of the four great assassins couldn't help but change abruptly. The development of the current situation was somewhat beyond their expectations. It was already too late for them to retreat. The long river of destiny directly suppressed the four great assassins. Lin Feng took out the Hui Bao and shot out 4 arrows in a row. 4 energy arrows quickly flew towards the four great assassins. Puff, 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 puff. The sound of 4 piercing bodies could be heard, but Lin Feng's brows were knitted together, because he felt that something seemed to be wrong. Sure enough, the 4 assassins who were shot turned into 4 little puppets. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng knew, just now, The other party used an extremely powerful puppet technique. The ones who died were the 4 puppets. The 4 great assassins appeared 100 meters away. Great Destiny technique. Is that the legendary Great Destiny technique that you used? Cripple's voice couldn't help but become excited. This guy was rather experienced and knowledgeable. Lin Feng raised his brows slightly and said, "You can see it clearly. Good, good, good. Now this seat wants to kill you even more," Cripple said. As his voice faded, Cripple, 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 and the other 3 quickly separated. Cripple stood on the left of Cripple, Cripple stood on Cripple's left, Cripple stood on Cripple's right, and Cripple stood behind Cripple. Then, the 4 of them began to attack Lin Feng again. The rapid sound of the zither, the flute, and the flute completely merged together. The merged sound transformed into an army of the underworld that blotted out the sky and covered the earth. Death knights, death gods, gods, demon gods, and other terrifying existences all appeared in the army. At the same time, the chessboard in Cripple's hand flew out again. The chessboard quickly became bigger. It blotted out the sky. Then, the surrounding heaven and earth instantly turned into the underworld. That chessboard was very strange. It not only formed a chessboard world, at the same time, it could also create some illusory worlds, such as the underworld created by the creation of the underworld. Moreover, when the illusory underworld was created, Lin Feng was shocked to find that the combat power of the underworld army had increased greatly. The chessboard world created a pair of underworlds that could greatly increase the combat power of the underworld army. The 4 great assassins. They held nothing back. He unleashed his strongest technique. "Today, I'll let you experience my power." Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He waved his hand. The heavenly drum flew out. Dong, dong, dong. Lin Feng beat the sky drum. After Lin Feng beat the sky drum, behind Lin Feng, immortal clouds rolled and lightning interweaved. An army appeared in the immortal clouds and lightning. Juling Shun, Thunder God, Lightning Mother, heavenly soldiers, and heavenly generals. It was actually an army of the heavenly realm. Kill. Chapter 48:31. In the past, when Lin Feng's cultivation was not so strong, he was already able to use the sky drum to reveal the phantom image of the heaven realm's army. Now, Lin Feng's cultivation had increased greatly. As a result, the power of the sky drum was gradually being released by Lin Feng. The 2 most powerful aspects of the sky drum were that during a large-scale battle, when the sky drum was beaten, it could buff the soldiers on one side. It would allow them to enter a state of excitement. At that time, the combat strength of the soldiers on one side would be greatly increased. The second use of the sky drum was to summon the phantom image of the heaven realm's army. As his cultivation increased, the phantom image of the heaven realm's army that he could summon would become stronger and stronger, and the phantom image of the heaven realm's army would become more and more solid. As the number 1 war drum in the heaven realm in the past, the sky drum's power was gradually revealed with the increase of Lin Feng's cultivation. Bang! The heaven realm's army and the underworld's army fought fiercely. The 2 torrents seemed to be able to destroy the world. The 4 great assassins' methods were indeed terrifying. But so what? Your methods are terrifying, but I have a treasure. The advantage of having many magic treasures was undoubtedly revealed at this time. There was always a magic treasure that could resolve the crisis. While the Heaven Realm's army and the Underworld's army were fighting, Lin Feng had already charged towards the 4 great assassins. He rushed in front of the 4 great assassins. Lin Feng chose to fight in close combat. After all, there were 4 of them. The power of 6 times the arm of the dragon and elephant instantly erupted. Lin Feng punched towards the blind man. Humph! The blind man snorted coldly. It was obvious that he was extremely confident in close combat. He stretched out his right hand and swept towards Lin Feng's punch. He wanted to block Lin Feng's punch. However, when the blind man's attack swept across Lin Feng's arm, he felt a sudden pain in his wrist. As a result, the power of Lin Feng's arm was too terrifying, and it actually injured his wrist. The blind man knew that he had underestimated Lin Feng's physical combat ability. However, at such a close distance, it was already too late to dodge. Bang! In the next moment, along with the sound of an incomparably violent collision. Lin Feng's powerful punch landed on Blind's chest. The sound of bones cracking could be heard. Blind's chest caved in from Lin Feng's punch. Lin Feng's punch just now was too violent. Blind was sent flying. He coughed out a large mouthful of blood in midair. When he fell to the ground, his body convulsed violently. Lin Feng's punch directly took away half of Blind's life. "Get away from him," Cripple cried out in horror. Lin Feng was too cruel. Cripple was an experienced and knowledgeable person, so he knew how strong Blind's corporeal body was. However, when he faced Lin Feng, he was still crushed by Lin Feng. The gap between them, it was clear at a glance. As such, how would Cripple dare to fight with Lin Feng using his corporeal body? Deaf and Mute were also retreating quickly. However, at this moment, Lin Feng revealed a cold smile. Lin Feng's fangs. It had not been shown just now. Lin Feng waved his hand. Two evil god stone statues flew out and charged towards Deaf and Mute respectively. Lin Feng charged towards Cripple. When the two evil god stone statues were taken out, it was time for Lin Feng to reveal his fangs. Lin Feng's speed was too fast. He instantly arrived in front of Cripple. Cripple shook his wrist. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Densely packed poison needles flew out and shot towards Lin Feng. It was obvious that Cripple had hidden weapons in his sleeves. Cripple suddenly attacked, wanting to catch Lin Feng off guard. However, Lin Feng did not dodge those poison needles. He allowed those poison needles to hit his body. This was because Lin Feng was wearing the ruler's armor. No matter how powerful the poison needles were, they would not be able to penetrate the defense of the ruler's armor. Clang, clang, clang. As expected, the ruler's armor blocked all the poison needles when they struck it, and there was a series of clangs and clangs of impact. Lin Feng used his hand to cover his eyes. The only exposed part of the ruler's armor was the eyes. However, when the poison needles shot towards Lin Feng's arm, they were still bounced off by the ruler's armor. South. At this moment, Cripple actually escaped into the void. Actually, Cripple also knew that using hidden weapons might not be able to kill Lin Feng. He used hidden weapons to deal with Lin Feng to buy himself some time. And he had clearly done it. Cripple hid in the void, wanting to ambush Lin Feng in the dark. Lin Feng sneered. "The Assassin Dynasty's concealment technique is useless against me." Lin Feng punched the left side of the room. Bang! A muffled sound of collision rang out. Cripple, who was hidden in the void, was sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. "How do you know so much about our Assassin Dynasty's concealment technique?" Cripple's face was filled with disbelief. Then, he cried out in alarm, "You have people in the Assassin Dynasty. Smart people don't live long." Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he quickly charged towards Cripple, sending a punch towards him. Cripple was unable to block it, so he crossed his arms in front of him and used the iron chain blockade technique. He wanted to use this to neutralize Lin Feng's tyrannical punch. However, when Lin Feng's punch landed on Cripple's arms, Cripple finally realized how terrifying Lin Feng's punch was. Crack, crack. His arms were directly broken by Lin Feng's punch. Next, Lin Feng's terrifying punch landed on Cripple's chest. Cripple's chest was also caved in by Lin Feng's punch. Cripple's cultivation wasn't as strong as Blind's. Therefore, after receiving Lin Feng's punch, he was blasted to death. He fell to the ground. He was already dead. On the other side, the two demonic god stone statues had completely suppressed Deaf and Mute. Lin Feng took out the black dragon sword and walked towards the two with it in his hand. "There are many people who want to kill me, but they are destined to be killed by me, including the four of you." Lin Feng arrived behind Deaf and slashed his sword at him. Deaf was shocked and wanted to block Lin Feng's attack, but he was held back by the evil god statues. Thus, he couldn't do anything else. Pooh! In the next moment, Lin Feng chopped off Deaf's head. Then, Lin Feng charged towards Mute. Mute knew that he was going to die, so his body swelled up and he wanted to self-destruct. He wanted to drag Lin Feng down with him. Before Lin Feng arrived, he threw out the black dragon sword in his hand. Pooh! The black dragon sword quickly flew out and pierced through Mute's chest. Blood immediately gushed out from Mute's chest. Mute's swollen body quickly returned to its original state. Chapter 48-32. Huff, huff, huff. Lin Feng took a few deep breaths. He had finally gotten rid of these guys. It was really not easy. These people in front of him were not good people, and each one was stronger than the other. He was really lucky to be able to get rid of them. Of course, sometimes luck also represented strength. Only the blind man was still lingering at death's door. But even though he was blind, he had already suffered a great deal of injuries. His injuries were extremely serious. Therefore, the blind man was no longer a threat. Did you expect this to happen? Lin Feng looked at the blind man and asked. The blind man smiled bitterly and said, "We were too careless. We did not expect that you would have such a method. If we had known earlier, we would have attacked you secretly. That way, our chances of winning would have been higher." Lin Feng said, "There is no medicine for regret in this world. Now, I will take your life." Lin Feng held the black dragon sword and directly cut off the blind man's head. At this point, the 4 great assassins had been killed. After seeing the 4 great assassins being killed, Lin Feng's face could not help but reveal a cold expression. He collected the things of the 4 great assassins and then released the heavenly flame. The 4 great assassins were instantly burned to ashes. Only the source energy was left. Although Lin Feng could not use the source energy of the 4 great assassins, Lin Feng still collected the source energy of the 4 great assassins. Although he could not use it, he could give it to his subordinates or to his women. Lin Feng immediately returned to his residence. I don't know what level these 4 people are in the assassin dynasty. This blood prison assassin dynasty is really too powerful. It seems like I have to be more vigilant. Lin Feng could not help but think to himself. The strength of the assassins of the blood prison assassin dynasty made Lin Feng afraid. Who knew whether or not more terrifying assassins would appear next? Once he provoked these assassins, they would absolutely not let him off. Lin Feng was very clear about this point. When dawn was about to arrive, in the direction of the inland sea, an earth-shattering boom suddenly rang out. Even though they were far away, the cultivators in White Bone City could hear the loud noise coming from the inland sea. That sound was like the sound of the world collapsing. It also sounded like the sound of stars crushing the starry sky world. That sound was deafening and incomparably ear-piercing. After such a change, many people flew towards the inland sea. Everyone knew that something shocking must have happened in the inland sea. Taoist Wu Liang, Du Zhu, heretic sovereign sage, and the 2 ghost emperors quickly returned to their residences. What's going on outside? Taoist Wu Liang asked doubtfully. Lin Feng said, there were a few reckless killers, but they have already been dealt with. Although Lin Feng said it lightly, everyone knew how dangerous the situation was at that time. Du Zhu said, those damned assassins. Next time, we'll destroy their lair. Lin Feng did not dwell on the topic. He said, let's head to the inland sea to take a look. I wonder if the changes in the inland sea have anything to do with the Great Bone Hall? All right. Taoist Wu Liang and the others nodded. Everyone flew towards the inland sea before the sun had even risen. When they arrived at the outer region of the inland sea, Lin Feng saw a region shrouded in white fog in the depths of the inland sea. That region, it was shrouded in endless mystery. There seemed to be a mysterious world hidden within the white fog. Many cultivators flew towards it, wanting to enter the world of white fog to explore and see what was inside. Lin Feng and the others entered as well. Not long after, shocking news spread that a demonic hand had appeared inside. The demonic hand was very special. It had a complete consciousness and was very powerful. The demonic hand was besieged by many top factions. Some people even used ancient weapons to suppress the demonic hand. Lin Feng was shocked when he heard the news. He thought of the demonic hand that had escaped from the Undying clan in the mundane world. Lin Feng did not know who the demonic hand was in its past life. He only knew that the demonic hand was dismembered by the 7 Undying sages. However, the demonic hand's owner had the ability to be undying. Therefore, the 7 Undying sages could only suppress the demonic hand's body in different places. Later, when he went to the mundane world's Undying clan, he released the demonic hand. Lin Feng remembered that before he parted ways with the demonic hand, it said that it wanted to find its body. It hoped that one day it would be able to reform its body. However, he did not know if the demonic hand that appeared in the inland sea was the same demonic hand that he knew. Lin Feng carefully inquired about the demonic hand. Soon, Lin Feng was sure that the demonic hand that was besieged by many major factions was indeed the demonic hand that he knew. It said that people from that clan have moved out to deal with the demonic hand. They want to suppress it. Someone whispered, "That clan? Which clan?" Some people were puzzled. They did not know which clan the other party had killed was from. That clan that can't be mentioned. It said that that clan created the undying world. That cultivator said. Many people's expressions changed slightly. They knew which clan that cultivator was talking about. It was said that the undying world's name was derived from the undying clan. The undying world was created by the experts of the undying clan. However, no one knew why the undying world left the undying world. No one knew where the undying clan went. There were rumors that the undying clan was driven out by the combined forces of many major factions. However, many people felt that this was not the case. There was definitely a reason why the undying clan left the undying world. However, this matter was destined to be a mystery to outsiders. Previously, I heard that the clan was already on the verge of collapse. Their strength had dropped tremendously. Now, it seems that this is not the case. A cultivator said, "This rumor is simply nonsense. That clan is still incomparably terrifying." It said that the expert that came to the undying world was a quasi-sage. Moreover, he came with an ancient weapon. One can imagine how terrifying that person is. A cultivator said, "What? A quasi-sage? Isn't that an existence similar to the celestial arch? An expert of this level with an ancient weapon should be able to fight against a sage, right?" A cultivator exclaimed. Chapter 48:33. The cultivator who spoke first said, "That's why I said that the power is still terrifying, but they left the undying realm for some unknown reason. If they didn't leave the undying realm might be in a different state. I heard that the powerhouse is called Yuan Zishuan, a direct descendant of that family. After he came, many people want to build a relationship with him, including many of the top families in the undying realm." Another cultivator who knew some inside information said, "Building a relationship with such a powerhouse is beneficial for oneself and the power behind one. But I don't know why he chased after that demonic hand." Someone voiced out their doubts. "That's not clear. He must have his own reasons." Lin Feng knew how to use clairaudience. Thus, he could hear all kinds of voices. He frowned slightly because the arrival of a quasi-sage powerhouse from the Undying clan wasn't a good thing for him. Although Lin Feng also had the Undying bloodline, their bloodline had completely drawn a line with the Undying clan ever since Ancestor Lin Qi, especially after Ancestor Lin Qi ruled the world. The Undying Seven Saints were so shocked that they knelt and begged Ancestor Lin Qi not to exterminate the Undying clan. This matter was remembered by the Undying clan and was treated as a disgrace by the Undying clan. So, the Undying clan hated his bloodline very much. Back then, Ancestor Lin Qi still cared about his reputation and didn't exterminate the Undying clan. After all, Lin Qi grew up in the Undying clan. It was just that the Undying clan viewed him as a cripple, but they didn't expect that the person with the highest achievement in the history of the Undying clan was someone they viewed as a cripple. Lin Feng couldn't comment on the fact that the ancestor didn't exterminate the Undying clan. After all, this was the ancestor's choice. As a junior, it was disrespectful to comment on the ancestor's actions. But now, Lin Feng was facing a very serious situation. For example, the grudge between his bloodline and the Undying clan. If the Undying clan's experts were to find out about him, the Undying clan's experts would not mind killing him. Moreover, Lin Feng felt that his family members who were captured should be in the hands of the Undying clan. Of course, he wanted to save his grandfather, uncles, brothers, sisters, and other relatives. But Lin Feng also knew that with his current strength, it was not enough to save them. So now, he still had to lay low and not clash with the experts of the Undying clan too early. Lin Feng and the others continued flying. A large number of cultivators followed them. All of a sudden, all news was spread everywhere. News of the White Fog world. But there was also news of the Devil's Hand. In the past few days, Devil Hand had already engaged in several battles with a group of experts led by the Undying clan. The Demon Hand was nearly suppressed several times, but in the end, the Demon Hand managed to escape. It is precisely because that hand is too frightening that the Undying clan is scheming to get rid of that demonic hand. Think about it. If the Devil's Hand were to reconstruct its body, what kind of terrifying thing would happen? Following that, another cultivator said. What this cultivator said was indeed very reasonable. If the Devil's Hand was destroyed, there might not be the possibility of reconstructing its body. If the Devil's Hand was not destroyed, there was still the possibility of reconstructing its body. At that time, no one knew what kind of terrifying thing would happen. Perhaps, even the Undying clan was afraid. There weren't many things that could make this kind of clan afraid, but in the end, there was still something. On this day, Lin Feng, Taoist Wu Liang, and the others were resting on a small island. A cultivator flew over from afar. It was a cultivator who looked to be in his 30s. At first glance, there was nothing special about him. However, Lin Feng felt his blood flowing quickly. His expression changed slightly as he hurriedly suppressed his bloodline. He tried his best not to reveal any flaws. However, when the cultivator flew over the island, he couldn't help but frown. What a familiar aura! Is it the aura of the Undying bloodline? The cultivator couldn't help but mutter to himself. The cultivator stopped and didn't leave. He flew towards the island. Let's hurry up and leave this place, Lin Feng said. However, they couldn't leave. The cultivator blocked Lin Feng and the others' path. To be precise, he blocked Lin Feng's path. Are you the abandoned descendant of the Undying clan? The cultivator looked at Lin Feng and asked, Who are you? Lin Feng asked back. The cultivator laughed faintly and said, You have guts to speak to me in such a tone. However, seeing that you also have the Undying bloodline, I'll forgive you this time. Remember, my name is Yuan Zixuan. When he heard this name, Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. It turned out that this person was the quasi-sage of the Undying clan. This person looked so young. However, his cultivation was so terrifying. It was really unbelievable. Taoist Wu Liang and the others were also shocked. At this moment, their expressions were very serious. This was because they knew of the grudge between Lin Feng and the main bloodline of the Undying clan. If this person knew Lin Feng's identity, he definitely wouldn't let Lin Feng go. Don't worry, I won't kill you. Although you're a descendant of the abandoned bloodline, I won't kill those with the Undying bloodline. However, if the other cultivators of the Undying clan want to kill you, then I won't care. So, you'll have to pray for yourself, Yuan Zixuan said. He didn't stay for long and flew into the distance. Lin Feng guessed that he was now looking for the Devil Hand. After Yuan Zixuan left, Lin Feng let out a long breath. Yuan Zixuan was really too scary. The pressure he gave off was too great, as expected of a quasi-sage. When such an existence made a move, who knew what kind of terrifying momentum it would cause? Lin Feng guessed. Ordinary true immortals. They might not even be able to withstand one move from Yuan Zixuan. Go, 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 Lin Feng said anxiously. He couldn't stay here any longer. He had to leave quickly so that Yuan Zixuan couldn't find him. If Yuan Zixuan came back to his senses, he might come looking for him. Lin Feng, the boundless holy man, Du Zhu, the heretic holiness holy man, and the two ghost emperors left quickly. Yuan Zixuan continued to search for the Devil Hand. Something's not right. Yuan Zixuan frowned. Yuan Zixuan couldn't help but frown. There seems to be something off about that brat. He seems to have a hidden bloodline in him. The immortal bloodline is very domineering. Ordinary bloodlines can't appear in the same person unless the person has another bloodline that is as powerful as the immortal bloodline. That kid doesn't seem to be an ordinary descendant of the abandoned bloodline. Could he be? Yuan Zixuan thought of a very special person. Before leaving, the higher-ups of the clan had told him to find this person and bring him back to the clan. This person was called Lin Feng. At this moment, Yuan Zixuan connected the abandoned bloodline descendant with Lin Feng. Chapter 48-34. When Yuan Zixuan arrived at the island, he discovered that Lin Feng was nowhere to be seen. Clearly, Lin Feng had left. Yuan Zixuan raised his brows slightly. Interesting, very interesting. However, you won't be able to escape. Perhaps we'll meet again soon, but even if we don't, I'll still be able to find you, Sinner's Emperor Lin Feng. The next time we meet, you won't be so lucky. At that time, you'll become my prisoner. Yuan Zixuan said with a faint smile. He did not stay any longer and quickly left. The Undying clan has been unimaginably terrifying since ancient times. It's truly tragic to have a grudge with them. Taoist Wu Yang sighed. How much do you know about the Undying clan? Lin Feng asked. I don't know much about it, but I do know a little about them. Taoist Wu Yang said. Where's the main branch of the Undying clan? Lin Feng asked. Taoist Wu Yang said. That's hard to say. The celestial world? Chaos bound of Xinhuang? Or some other place? But it should be in one of those places. Lin Feng stroked his chin and said, Why did the Undying clan leave the Undying world back then? In their opinion, the Undying world's potential has already limited the clan's development, so they gave up on it. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. No matter what, the Undying world is still a quasi-paramount world. To give it up just like that, how bold! Taoist Wu Yang said. That's why the Undying clan was an extremely extraordinary clan back then, whether it was the clan's disciples or the clan's leader. Of course, the Undying clan was also a ruthless clan. Even when facing their own clansmen, when it was time to kill, they would show no mercy. Lin Feng asked, What do you think of the Undying clan's current strength? They have a sage overseeing them, Taoist Wu Yang said. In truth, Lin Feng had already guessed this possibility. Taoist Wu Yang added, And there's more than one such expert. Lin Feng said, What does this power rely on to remain standing? Could it be the foundation of the 7 Undying sages? Taoist Wu Yang said, The Undying 7 saints are the pinnacle of the Undying clan in this epoch. However, the Undying clan isn't a clan from this epoch. They existed many epochs ago. Do you think a clan that can transcend epochs is so simple? His foundation is unimaginable. Do you know why your ancestor, Lin Qi, let the Undying clan off? Do you really think that because the Undying 7 saints begged Lin Qi for mercy, Lin Qi's heart softened and he released the Undying clan? That's not really the case. Lin Qi is such a decisive person. Will you give up on killing him just because he begs for mercy? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown at Taoist Wu Yang's repeated questions. It seems that before, he had thought too simply of the situation. Du Zhu said, In that case, the Undying clan has a foundation that Lin Qi is afraid of? Taoist Wu Yang nodded. Yes, they have a foundation that Lin Qi is afraid of. A clan that transcends epochs and has transcended epochs multiple times. At the very least, I don't know what kind of foundation such a huge clan has. Only the highest echelons of the clan are aware of the existence of their foundation. Even the ordinary upper echelons of the clan don't know about it. That's why I'm guessing that Lin Qi didn't make a move back then because he knew that once he did, the Undying clan would bring out their foundation. At that time, both sides would suffer great losses. Naturally, Lin Qi didn't want to see such an outcome. Lin Feng took a deep breath and said, I didn't expect the Undying clan to be so powerful. Taoist Wu Yang said, Actually, there's another reason why the Undying clan is so powerful. What's the reason? Lin Feng asked curiously. It's because of their descendants, Taoist Wu Yang said. What do you mean? Lin Feng asked. Taoist Wu Yang said, The stronger the living being, the harder it is for them to have descendants. That's why many powerful clans have appeared in history. However, those powerful clans have gradually disappeared. However, the Undying clan has solved the problem of having descendants with powerful bloodlines. That's why the Undying clan has more descendants. This is also one of the main reasons why the Undying clan has never declined. Lin Feng said, Indeed, the stronger the bloodline, the stronger the living being, the harder it is for them to have descendants. To be able to solve the problem of descendants, this clan can indeed continue to prosper. Lin Feng actually had a deep understanding of this matter. After so many years, Lin Feng had also experienced many women. However, among all of Lin Feng's women, none of them had gotten pregnant. This was enough to explain the problem. Just like the Dragon Clan, they might only be able to give birth to a descendant after hundreds or thousands of years. It was because the Dragon Clan's bloodline was powerful. Another example was some of the top experts in the world of cultivators. They would usually live millions of years, or even tens of millions of years before giving birth to a descendant. Why was that? It was also because their bloodline was powerful. Giving birth to a descendant. It was very difficult. Taoist Wu Liang said, therefore, if you can avoid provoking a power like the Undying Clan, then try your best not to provoke them. At the very least, don't provoke them before you completely grow up. When you are strong enough, you will have the ability to wrestle with them. When you go to the main bloodline of the Undying Clan, at that time, the main bloodline of the Undying Clan can only obey you. Just like your ancestor, Lin Qi. Although he did not make a move against the Undying Clan, he also shocked the Undying Clan so much that they did not dare to make a move against him. However, our bloodline is still gradually declining. Lin Feng sighed and said, this is very normal. Unless we can solve the problem of descendants, it is indeed very easy for us to decline. Look at how many amazing existences have appeared in history. They rose rapidly. When they were alive, the clans they created were so powerful. However, after they died, the forces they left behind would quickly decline until they completely disappeared. This is because there is a problem with the bloodline inheritance. However, a terrifying clan like the Undying Clan has a long history and has always been very prosperous. The true power that can be passed down through the ages should be the top power that has solved the problem of descendants. Chapter 48-35. After hearing so much from Taoist Wu Liang, Lin Feng had a more comprehensive understanding of the Undying Clan. These top forces were indeed terrifying. Perhaps only those who had reached ancestor Lin Qi's tyrannical cultivation would have the chance to talk to the Undying Clan on equal terms. If it were other cultivators, they wouldn't have such qualifications at all. Lin Feng had always been a person who refused to admit defeat. His fighting spirit was very high. Therefore, after knowing the terror of the Undying Clan, not only was Lin Feng not frightened, but his fighting spirit was even more exuberant. Of course, Lin Feng also knew that to increase his strength, it wasn't something that could be done overnight. To increase one's strength, one needed to accumulate over time. Now that the world of white fog had appeared, would there be opportunities inside? If the White Bone Palace was really inside the world of white fog, Lin Feng felt that there might be amazing opportunities inside. In the next few days, Lin Feng received some news one after another. It was said that Yuan Zixuan and the others had found the Devil Hand. Then, they fought the Devil Hand again. The Devil Hand was defeated again. Moreover, its injuries were getting worse and worse. However, it still escaped in the end and entered the depths of the world of white fog. Yuan Zixuan and the others chased after it. However, that place wasn't a place that everyone could enter because it was said that there were unknown dangers hidden in the world of white fog. Entering the world of white fog, the slightest carelessness could lead to death. Many cultivators who took the risk to enter fell one after another. There were also some cultivators who retreated from it. Those cultivators had an incomparably terrified expression. They had experienced something terrifying. However, they didn't see any living creatures. However, many cultivators died miserably in front of them. Everything was strange. You really didn't see anything? Someone asked unwillingly. I really didn't see anything, but there were strange sounds coming from the white fog. Then, the rolling white fog surged. Many cultivators who were swallowed by the white fog eventually lost their flesh and blood, leaving only blood-stained skeletons behind as they fell into the sea. A cultivator said, "This scene was simply too bizarre. Because no living creatures appeared, those cultivators died tragically just like that. Anyone who saw this scene would feel their hair stand on end." It was then that one of the cultivators asked, "Could there be something terrifying hidden within the white mist?" No, nothing can be hidden in the white fog, because the white fog is not dense and is very thin. No matter what is hidden, it can be seen. But we didn't see anything. It was just a thin white mist rolling and swallowing the lives of those cultivators. This was an unbearable memory. Fortunately, these cultivators managed to survive, so they rejoiced. The few surviving cultivators decided to leave. After experiencing the danger from before, they didn't want to continue exploring the white fog world for any opportunities. Now, they just wanted to go home and have a good rest. Then, they would try their best to adjust their state of mind. Oh my God, look! Suddenly, a cultivator cried out in horror. More than one cultivator cried out in fear. The cultivators all pointed in a certain direction. Everyone looked over, and their expressions changed abruptly. The surviving cultivators who had left together had met with disaster. Their flesh and blood had disappeared at an unknown time. To be more precise, they had been eaten by something at an unknown time, leaving only blood-stained skeletons behind. Those skeletons had fallen into the sea. What happened? Did anyone see it? A cultivator asked. Many cultivators shook their heads, not knowing what had happened. At this time, a cultivator said with a trembling voice, "I saw it." When they left, they were still whispering something. Perhaps they were talking about their trip to the white fog world. But in the next moment, their flesh and blood disappeared in an instant, and they turned into blood-stained skeletons. Flesh and blood disappeared in an instant? Many people frowned. They felt that the word instantaneous was really hard to believe and accept. The cultivator said, "They really disappeared in an instant. I've been watching them all this time. From living creatures to blood-stained skeletons. It only took an instant." Many people's expressions turned ugly. This was too strange, wasn't it? How did their flesh and blood disappear? Some people fished up the skeletons of the dead cultivators. Then, they carefully observed them, but unfortunately, they did not find anything special. It was as if the other party had really died all of a sudden. This kind of situation was really extremely strange. At this time, a cultivator said, "Could it be a curse? The mysterious and strange curse might be able to do all of this." That's right. It must be a curse. Those people were affected by the power of the curse, which is why they were killed. Someone else said, "When people encounter unknown things, they are always used to finding reasons to explain these things. For example, right now, everything was still unknown, but some people already felt that this was caused by the power of the curse. Moreover, more and more people agreed with this idea." Lin Feng frowned. He did not know if he should think that this was caused by some kind of curse. However, Lin Feng was very clear about one thing. The white fog world was truly terrifying. Without powerful means, it was simply impossible to enter. One had to have a powerful cultivation base, or a powerful magic treasure, or some special means. If ordinary cultivators entered, it would be no different from sending themselves to their deaths. However, even if they knew that it was dangerous, there were still people who entered. The other party was clearly skilled and bold. For example, Lin Feng saw young Master Shuiyu, young Master Mingyue, young Master Xingyu, and the others enter one after another. Lin Feng also saw Mu Yasi and the others enter. It seemed that she had come out of seclusion. Of course, Lin Feng also saw Huangfu Qingtian, Dongwang's son, and the others enter. Lin Feng also saw the woman, Great Demon Yu. She was as beautiful as ever. She was even more charming than before. That was because she had lost her virginity. She had become an even more charming young woman. Lin Feng naturally felt a little guilty when he saw her. Fortunately, she did not see him. Lin Feng was certain. If she saw him, she would definitely not hesitate to chop him to death with a machete. After staying outside for a while, she also entered the white fog world. Chapter 48-36. Let's go in and take a look, Lin Feng said. He took the lead and flew into the white fog world. Taoist Wu Liang, Du Zhu, evil sovereign sage, and the two ghost emperors also flew into the white fog world. Inside the white fog world, there was a very strange energy. After feeling the strange energy, Zhang Xian was shocked. Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. That strange energy made him feel extremely uncomfortable. This place was indeed full of strangeness. Du Zhu said, "This place makes me feel flustered." Ah! Just as Du Zhu's voice fell, there was a scream in front of them. When they heard the scream in front of them, Lin Feng and the others sped up and flew forward. When they arrived, they only saw more than 10 blood-colored skeletons floating in the sea. The way they died was exactly the same as the cultivators outside. Just now, these people were not particularly far from Lin Feng and the others. However, because of the fog, Lin Feng and the others did not see how these people died. "We can't waste people's things when they're dead," Taoist Wu Liang said as he took the storage rings of the cultivators. This guy liked to take the wealth of the dead. This kind of wealth came easily. No one came to find trouble with him, thought Lin Feng while scratching his chin. A moment before, after those horrible shrieks, those people had all died. The whole thing was very strange. This was the most strange thing. In this place, apart from the auras of the dead cultivators, Lin Feng did not sense anyone else's aura. Even if some unknown creature killed them, there should be some aura left. After all, time was short. The aura would not disappear so quickly. Lin Feng said, "Let's go. Let's leave this place quickly." The others nodded. This place indeed made everyone feel uneasy, so they did not want to stay here. Therefore, everyone quickly flew into the depths. After Lin Feng and the others left, the white fog in the area actually rolled, and there seemed to be a strange sound coming from the white fog. Rumble, rumble, rumble. An hour later, Lin Feng and the others heard a rumbling sound. A gigantic battleship was approaching them. After seeing the warship, Lin Feng, Taoist Wu Liang, and Du Zhu all cursed at the same time. Idiot! How could they be so ostentatious in such a place? Were they afraid of danger and didn't take the initiative to come to them? Baji Palace's warship, the evil Dominator Saint said. Lin Feng nodded and asked, "I wonder if young Master Mingyue is on the warship? What do you think? Could it be that he wanted to kill young Master Mingyue? This young Master Mingyue has hidden himself very deeply. It won't be easy to get rid of him." Lin Feng was naturally aware of this, but Lin Feng still wanted to give it a try. Young Master Mingyue was a formidable enemy, and it might be easier to kill him now. If young Master Mingyue were to raise his cultivation base to the true immortal realm, it would be much more difficult to kill him. Lin Feng was naturally aware of this. However, the Baji Palace's warship suddenly changed direction and flew in another direction. In the blink of an eye, it had already flown far away. This scene left Lin Feng and the rest dumbfounded. Taoist Wu Liang said, "It seems that young Master Mingyue isn't on the warship. Otherwise, that warship wouldn't have avoided us so quickly." Clearly, the people on the warship had already seen Lin Feng. Moreover, they recognized Lin Feng. Without a peak expert like young Master Mingyue, they naturally didn't dare to provoke Lin Feng and quickly fled. Lin Feng recalled seeing young Master Mingyue, young Master Shuiyu, and young Master Xingyu enter the world of white fog together. At that time, there was a large group of people following them. Now, it seemed that those people weren't the same group as the ones on the Baji Palace's warship. Lin Feng didn't chase after them. They were just a bunch of insignificant people. Lin Feng didn't care about them. About a day had passed. Lin Feng and the rest saw a warship floating above the ocean. When they got closer, they realized that it was the same warship they had seen before. The Baji Palace's flag was still fluttering. It was truly fate. They actually met again here. Something doesn't seem right. This warship is too quiet. It's deathly quiet. Taoist Wu Liang quickly noticed that something was amiss. Then, he said. Lin Feng also noticed that something was amiss. He said, "Come, let's go take a look." Everyone nodded and increased their speed, catching up to the ancient warship floating in front of them. Then, they boarded the ancient warship. There was nothing above or below the huge deck. Thus, Lin Feng and the rest walked inside. When they arrived at the cabin, Lin Feng discovered that there was a restriction sealing the entrance. The aura of the restriction here was very similar to the restriction on the warship. Thus, Lin Feng guessed that the restriction here was activated by the Baji Palace's cultivators. Are they trying to use the restriction to prevent something from entering? Du Zhu asked with a frown. Taoist Wu Liang said, "That should be the case. What's puzzling is that the restriction here is very well preserved. Since it's so well preserved, the people inside should be fine. Why is there no movement at all?" Lin Feng said, "Open the restriction and enter to take a look." "Well, no then." Next, Lin Feng removed the restriction outside and entered the cabin with Taoist Wu Liang and the rest. After entering the cabin, Lin Feng suddenly smelled a foul stench. Lin Feng then saw a pile of bones lying on the ground. There were many skeletons lying on the ground. There were too many skeletons piled up together, and the sea was very humid. Thus, the foul stench was emitted. They died in the same way as those people from before. What the hell happened? The restriction here isn't broken. Since it's not broken, why did these people die? Taoist Wu Liang voiced out his doubts. However, Taoist Wu Liang no longer cared about the cause of this matter. He directly walked toward the pile of corpses. Next, he took off the storage rings on the corpses' hands. Du Zhu and the rest hurriedly went to take the storage rings as well. Lin Feng was the only one who didn't touch the storage rings of the dead. Lin Feng didn't care about their belongings. Lin Feng walked around the cabin. He saw a passage that led to the bottom. At this moment, Lin Feng suddenly heard a faint sound coming from the cabin below. Chapter 48:37. Something's wrong. Lin Feng was shocked. He quickly went to the lower level. When Lin Feng arrived at the bottom of the mountain, something suddenly threw itself at him. Lin Feng quickly dodged and realized that it was a woman. Dead. They're all dead. They're all dead. The woman seemed to have gone mad. She pounced on Lin Feng again. Wu Liang Taoist, Du Zhu, Evil Sovereign Sage, and the two Ghost Emperors also heard the commotion and came to the lower level of the ship. At this time, Lin Feng restrained the woman. Then, he restrained the woman. There's actually still a survivor, Wu Liang Taoist said. Lin Feng nodded. Then, he looked at the woman who seemed to have gone mad. At this time, he realized that the woman's appearance was not bad. She looked very delicate, but it was a pity that she was now crazy. What's your name? Lin Feng looked at the woman and asked, trying to communicate with her. However, the woman kept murmuring, all dead, all dead, all dead. It seemed that the woman had suffered a great shock. How did she survive? Lin Feng was extremely puzzled. It seems that we can't get anything useful out of her. However, a human soul is the most real thing. Since we can't get anything out of her, we can try to search her soul. Wu Liang Taoist said. Lin Feng also had the same plan. He tried to search her soul. However, just as Lin Feng was searching her soul, she turned into a blood-stained skeleton. Everything was too sudden. It was so sudden that Lin Feng was caught off guard. Let's go out and take a look, Lin Feng said. He felt that something was about to happen. Obviously, it was an extremely bad feeling. Lin Feng went out. The cabin was still emitting a fishy smell. Lin Feng didn't stay in the cabin. Instead, he went outside to the deck. Wu Liang Taoist and the others also followed him outside. After arriving outside, Lin Feng saw that the surrounding white fog was rolling. They had already surrounded the warship. In a world of white fog, it was not strange to see white fog, because there was white fog everywhere. However, the white fog in other places was different from the white fog in front of him. The white fog in other places floated quietly in the air. However, the white fog that surrounded the warship was tumbling violently. The situation before his eyes was extremely strange. He's here, Du Zhu said solemnly. Previously, they had already heard of some things that happened in the world of white fog. The white fog churned, and people turned into blood-stained skeletons. Now, they were about to face the same thing. It was impossible to say that he wasn't nervous or worried. After all, in this world, the unknown was the scariest, and the situation before their eyes was something unknown to them. Lin Feng tried to use his divine consciousness to probe the rolling white fog. However, he found that his divine consciousness disappeared in an instant. His face turned slightly pale. What a strange and terrifying white fog. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. This is troublesome. Wu Liang Taoist frowned. He rarely encountered such a troublesome situation. However, the white fog that appeared today was too strange. It made him feel helpless. Let me see if the heavenly flame can cause damage to the white fog, Lin Feng said. Then, he took out the heavenly flame. The heavenly flame was very terrifying. It instantly ignited the white fog. Seeing this, everyone couldn't help but feel happy. The fact that the heavenly flame could cause damage to the white fog gave everyone hope of breaking out of the encirclement. At that moment, strange cries came from the rolling white fog. When he heard those cries, Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. This was because he didn't see anything in the white fog. Moreover, the white fog was so thin that it should be impossible for any living thing to be hiding in it. However, what was going on? How did the cries from the white fog come from? There was something fishy about all of this. At that moment, a large amount of white fog surged toward Lin Feng and the others. Wu Liang Daoist said, I know. What do you know? Lin Feng looked at Wu Liang Daoist and asked, The white fog? Actually, it's not white fog at all. I thought of a kind of living thing called the white fogworm. I saw it in a Taoist scripture. It said that the white fogworm looks very similar to the white fog, but it has an undying and indestructible body. If you see a white fogworm, it's best to run away quickly because it's extremely dangerous to be entangled by one. The white fogworm likes to drill into the body of its target, then densely cover every inch of the target's flesh and blood, instantly eating the target's flesh. Wu Liang Daoist said, But even if it eats the target's flesh and blood, the white fogworm should still be able to see it. But when that female cultivator was eaten, we didn't see anything other than her skeleton. Lin Feng said doubtfully, That's because after the white fogworm eats flesh and blood, its body will instantly turn transparent, just like air. It won't return to normal until the white fogworm consumes the flesh and blood it devours. Wu Liang Daoist said, Isn't this white fogworm too strange? Let's break out of this encirclement quickly. Du Zhu said with a gloomy face. Wu Liang Daoist said with a bitter smile, The white fogworm is everywhere. Trying to break out is simply a pipe dream. Then what do? We can't just wait here to die, right? Du Zhu said. Wu Liang Daoist's face was also gloomy. He was thinking of a solution. Lin Feng said, I have an idea. Maybe we can try it. Hearing Lin Feng's words, everyone's eyes suddenly lit up. Lin Feng summoned the Devil King bug. The Devil King bug floated in the air and made a strange sound. When they saw the Devil King bug, the white fogworms immediately stopped. Screech, however, before Lin Feng and the others could let out a sigh of relief. An ear-piercing sound rang out. After hearing the ear-piercing sound, the white fogworms stopped moving. The white fog insect started moving again. They surrounded Lin Feng and the others again. The strangest thing was that as the heavenly fire burned, more and more white fogworms appeared. Not only did the heavenly fire not burn the white fogworms to death, but it also seemed to cause the white fogworms to quickly split into even more white fogworms. When Lin Feng saw that, he couldn't help but be astonished. Those white fog insects were too strange. He quickly recalled his celestial fire. Chapter 48:38. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die for sure. My great youth has just begun. I don't want to die. Taoist Wu Liang wailed loudly. Lin Feng's face was also extremely ugly. The current situation was indeed very bad for them. If they could not solve the situation in front of them, they might really die here. Everyone was very clear about this. At this extremely dangerous moment, suddenly, a flute sound drifted over from afar. When the sound of the flute was heard, the swarm of white mist bugs that were charging towards them suddenly changed direction. Those white mist bugs quickly flew in the direction of the flute sound. When he saw this scene, Lin Feng's face could not help but reveal a shocked expression. Taoist Wu Liang said in surprise, There's really a way out. It seems like things are about to take a turn. Hearing this, everyone nodded. Let's go over and take a look. Lin Feng said. The few of them quickly flew in the direction of the flute sound. Not long after, they saw a woman wearing beast skin. The woman's beast skin clothes only covered part of her body. For example, her slender waist and long legs were exposed. Her skin was wheat-colored and looked very healthy. She was tall and had a charming face. However, she exuded a wild aura, just like a little wild cat. The woman held a gourd in her hand. No one knew what treasure it was. Those white mist bugs all flew into the gourd. Not long after, those white mist bugs were swallowed by the gourd in the woman's hand. Seems like someone from the barbarian tribe, Taoist Wu Liang said. There were barbarians in the Tianwu continent, as well as in the undying world. The barbarians were very similar to humans. However, their physiques were stronger, and their personalities were more valiant. The barbarians were good at witchcraft. Therefore, the barbarians' methods were often more strange. However, no one dared to underestimate the barbarians. This race was very terrifying, whether it was in the mortal world or in the undying world. The barbarians were an exceptionally terrifying race. This race, they held unimaginable power. For example, the barbarian woman in front of everyone was really powerful. Such a terrifying white mist worm had been collected by her. He had no idea why she had collected the white mist worms. Thank you for your help, fairy. Lin Feng cupped his fists and said. The woman from the barbarian race giggled and said, I'm not a fairy, and I'm not trying to save you. I'm just trying to collect the white fog bugs to refine pills. Hearing this, Taoist Wu Liang's eyes lit up and he asked, What kind of pill are you refining? What? Are you interested? The barbarian woman looked at Taoist Wu Liang and asked. Taoist Wu Liang naturally knew that the elixir refined by the other party was absolutely extraordinary. It should be an elixir that would greatly benefit one's cultivation, so he nodded and said, Of course I'm interested. I don't lack money, so we can discuss the price. Hee hee, but what if I don't want to sell it to you? The barbarian woman said with a smile. Taoist Wu Liang revealed a gloomy expression. After saying so much, he had still been played by the barbarian woman in the end. Lin Feng asked, How should I address you? Why are you asking for my name? Are you trying to hit on me? The barbarian woman looked at Lin Feng with a smile. The barbarians had always been bold and unrestrained. They did not understand what it meant to be reserved. If it were a woman from another race, they would naturally not say such words directly. However, the barbarian woman did not care about such things. If there was something in her heart, she would say it directly. There was nothing to be embarrassed about. Of course, Lin Feng had no intention of hitting on the barbarian woman at the moment. He only wanted to know her identity. After all, Lin Feng was a person who knew how to repay kindness. The barbarian woman had said that she was only collecting the white fog bugs and not helping Lin Feng and the others. However, Lin Feng and the others had indeed escaped because of the barbarian woman collecting the white fog bugs. Lin Feng naturally wanted to find an opportunity to repay the barbarian woman. However, the barbarian woman's brain was clearly wired differently from that of other races. As a man, how could he lose his momentum in front of a woman? Therefore, Lin Feng said, Your figure and face are not bad. If you want me to hit on you, of course I don't mind hitting on you. I am the goddess of countless barbarian cultivators. There are many people who want to hit on me. You'll have to line up. The barbarian woman was as hot and bold as ever. After saying this, she quickly flew into the distance. In the blink of an eye, she had already disappeared without a trace. In the following period of time, Lin Feng and the others did not encounter any more white fog bugs. They did not know if they had all been collected by the barbarian woman. Except for the barbarian woman, perhaps there were other barbarian cultivators collecting the white fog bugs. If that was the case, the white fog bugs might indeed be facing a disaster. Half a month later, Lin Feng and the others arrived at the depths of the white fog world. When they arrived, they saw an island. At this moment, many cultivators were flying towards the island. Lin Feng and the others also flew towards the island. Spacetime power. When they approached the island, Lin Feng could not help but cry out in surprise. This was because he had already felt the spacetime power in front of him. Fortunately, the spacetime power was not violent. The spacetime power enveloped the entire island. At this moment, the spacetime power that enveloped the island seemed to have sensed the aura of Lin Feng and the others. Therefore, the spacetime power quickly surged over. Lin Feng and the others were wrapped in it. The spacetime power was too strong. It instantly pulled Lin Feng and the others towards the island. Lin Feng felt as if the world was spinning. He even felt as if his body was about to be torn apart by the powerful spacetime power. This feeling was really terrible. However, in the next moment, the pain disappeared and Lin Feng was sent flying. He fell into the forest. Lin Feng got up from the ground. However, he found that he was the only one around. There was no one else. Taoist Wu Liang, Du Zhu, Evil Lord Saint, and the two Ghost Emperors were all thrown somewhere by the space-time power. And at this moment, a ferocious beast jumped out of the forest. This ferocious beast was about 5 to 6 meters tall. When he saw this ferocious beast, Lin Feng could not help but reveal a surprised expression. Because of this ferocious beast. Chapter 48-39. This dragon was extremely strange. It looked like an earth dragon, but at the same time, it didn't look like one. The reason why this dragon looked like an earth dragon was because it looked similar to an earth dragon. The reason why this dragon didn't look like an earth dragon was because its aura was different from an earth dragon. There were some powerful dragons within the earth dragon race, such as the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, even though those dragons were extremely powerful, the earth dragon was a dragon race with a lower level of life. Even for the powerful Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Tyrannosaurus Rex, their life aura was still that of a lower-level dragon race. However, this dragon that appeared before Lin Feng's eyes, even though it looked like an infant, its life aura was extremely noble. Lin Feng could even sense the powerful dragon bloodline within its body. This was clearly not something that an earth dragon could compare to. Roar! After a brief moment of silence, the dragon race living being let out a low growl and pounced towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng waved his robes. A powerful force swept across the body of this dragon race living being. Then, this dragon race living being was sent flying by Lin Feng. After receiving Lin Feng's attack, Lin Feng's expression changed drastically. The dragon race living being let out a painful cry. In reality, Lin Feng did not use much strength. If Lin Feng had wanted to kill this dragon race living being, that blow would have. It would have been enough to kill this dragon race living being instantly. When this dragon race living being saw how powerful Lin Feng was, it turned around and ran. Lin Feng did not chase after it either. He allowed this dragon race living being to escape. Just then, a sharp, ear-piercing cry rang out from the skies. Lin Feng looked up into the skies and saw a group of pterosaurs flapping their wings as they flew over quickly. When he caught sight of those pterosaurs, Lin Feng's face was filled with astonishment. Seemed like there should be quite a number of dragons in this place. Lin Feng headed deeper in. In a short period of time, he saw more than 10 dragons. There were all kinds of dragons, but other than the pterosaurs, the rest of the dragons did not have wings. They were all creatures that looked like earth dragons, but not earth dragons. The dragons here look so much like earth dragons, but they aren't earth dragons. How strange. I wonder what race these dragons are. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. It's the dragon race. A voice suddenly, Lin Feng's voice, Lin Feng's heart. Demon Lord. It was the Demon Lord's voice. Yao Jun had been constantly in closed-door cultivation, so there hadn't been any movement from him. Now, Yao Jun had finally emerged from his closed-door cultivation. This time, Yao Jun's seclusion was very important. Lin Feng guessed that Yao Jun had obtained incredible benefits during his seclusion. His cultivation level had definitely increased. Lin Feng said excitedly. Lin Feng then asked, "You said that these dragons are the dragon race from the prehistoric era. Didn't you say that the dragon race was extinct?" Prehistoric. This was an extremely ancient era. It was probably one of the top 10 great eras in this epoch. This was the era when sentient life forms were born one after another. More and more powerful creatures appeared in the world. Of course, many terrifying races appeared in this era as well. The dragon race was one of them. The dragon race from the prehistoric era possessed supreme divine abilities. It was rumored that the ancestors of the eastern and western dragon branches had once followed the dragon race and cultivated the divine abilities of the dragon race. But later, the dragon race from the prehistoric era died out. However, the eastern and western dragon branches continued to exist until now. The Demon Lord actually said that these dragons that looked like earth dragons were the dragon race from the prehistoric era. Lin Feng found this to be inconceivable. The Demon Lord said, "It's true that the dragon race from the prehistoric era has died out. However, in some special barriers, there might still be dragons from the prehistoric era. For example, this island should be enveloped by a huge barrier. Normally, this island would not be able to manifest itself. Only during special occasions will it be able to manifest itself. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Is there any relationship between the dragon race and the earth dragon race from the prehistoric era? These two types of dragons are really similar in appearance." The demon lord said, "The earth dragons have the bloodline of the dragon race from the prehistoric era. However, the bloodline inherited by the earth dragons is not strong. Therefore, they can no longer be considered a true dragon race from the prehistoric era. The dragon race from the prehistoric era was really terrifying. They had mastered many divine abilities of the dragon race. Many divine abilities could reach the heaven and earth and move the stars. It was amazing. In fact, in the beginning of the era, not only the Eastern and Western dragon experts went to the dragon race to learn divine abilities, but other races and even innate spirits also went to the dragon race to learn divine abilities. Lin Feng could not help but be speechless. The dragon race from the prehistoric era was really awesome. How did such a terrifying race perish? Lin Feng asked, puzzled. There are no records of how they perished, but I guess it has something to do with the dragon race being too powerful. The demon lord said. Lin Feng pondered for a moment, and soon understood the meaning of the demon lord's words. The dragon race from the prehistoric era was too powerful. It would definitely arouse the envy and jealousy of many forces. Even those forces who sought divine abilities from the dragon race from the prehistoric era would be envious and jealous of the dragon race. The human heart was often like this. The so-called kindness was nothing in the face of benefits, other than the envy and jealousy of the various major forces. In the beginning of the era, the creatures of the mastermind's world and the races that transcended the era probably did not want to see a race like the dragon race continue to grow stronger. Therefore, the tragedy that happened later happened. The dragon race from the prehistoric era was exterminated. In the beginning of the era, the most glorious and powerful race. Just like that, they were buried by history. It had to be said that this was an extremely sad thing. However, the dragon race from the prehistoric era on the island in front of them had avoided a calamity. The demon lord continued, "I guess that this island is still a little strange. The dragon race from the prehistoric era should have paid a price to avoid a calamity. However, I do not know what price they paid for the time being." Roar, roar, roar. At this moment, the roar resounded through the sky. Then, the earth began to shake violently. In the sky, a large number of pterosaurs flew out. In the forest, a large number of dragon race from the prehistoric era also ran towards the periphery of the island. Are they trying to leave this island? Lin Feng could not help but say, "That's very likely the case." The demon lord nodded. The dragon race from the prehistoric era had been trapped here for too long. Now that these dragon race creatures saw the hope of leaving, they were naturally incomparably excited. "Let's follow them and take a look," the demon lord said. Lin Feng nodded and followed behind the group of dragons. Although he did not know why the demon lord wanted to see these prehistoric dragon race leave Dragon Island. However, Lin Feng would not reject the demon lord's suggestion. Moreover, he also wanted to see the scene of the dragons leaving Dragon Island in groups. Chapter 4840. Lin Feng saw many cultivators hiding in the forest. When the dragons rushed over, those cultivators all dodged the rampaging dragons. Many people were attracted by the dragons, and then they followed behind the dragons and rushed out. Could we have arrived at the dragon world? I think there might be such a possibility. Where is the dragon world? I want to return to the undying realm. If we go back the way we came, can we still return to the undying realm? That's hard to say. After all, that area is a place where time and space intersect. Many cultivators began to discuss. In fact, Lin Feng felt that this was not the dragon world. This should still be the undying realm, an island in the depths of the white fog world. The reason why this place gave people the feeling of the dragon world. It was because this place, a large number of prehistoric dragons appeared, causing people to think that they had passed through the area covered by the space-time energy outside and arrived at the dragon world. Of course, Lin Feng could have guessed wrong. After all, he had not confirmed this. However, Lin Feng was still quite confident in his guess. When he arrived at the outer area of the island, Lin Feng discovered that a large number of prehistoric dragons had already gathered here. All kinds of prehistoric dragons gathered together. The scene was too shocking. Rumble. Lightning intertwined as dense lightning fell from the sky. Heavy rain poured down. In the sea, huge waves rolled up. Roar. One by one, the pterosaurs let out a high-pitched dragon roar. Then, those pterosaurs flapped their wings and quickly rushed out. The pterosaurs' speed was too fast. They wanted to pass through the lightning area and then rush out of the area covered by the space-time energy. In this way, they would be able to be free. Crash. But at this moment, huge waves swept through the world. Then, a huge creature rushed out from the sea. Only half of that huge creature's body was exposed, but it was already huge enough. That half of its body was more than 1,000 meters long. It was also a living being of the dragon clan, but it was a living being of the dragon clan that lived in the sea. That dragon creature's body was covered in very thick scales. Moreover, it had huge claws like a crocodile, and its head was also a little like a crocodile. Is it a crocodile? A cultivator said. He felt that the creature might be the legendary dragon crocodile, a race that had disappeared a long time ago. No, that creature isn't a dragon crocodile. It's the legendary Mosasaurus. An old cultivator said. He seemed to have some understanding of the dragon race and pointed out the origin of the sea dragon. Sea dragon. Prehistoric times. The absolute overlord of the sea. The sea dragon was a kind of dragon that had mutated from a cliff. After the mutation was completed, the Mosasaurus entered the sea to live. In fact, when the sea dragon entered the sea area, many powerful creatures had already appeared in the world of the sea. This included many powerful prehistoric sea dragons. However, the sea dragons, a race that appeared later, rose quickly and dominated the ocean world in a short period of time. Let the other overlords of the ocean die quickly. At the end of the prehistoric era, there was only one kind of overlord in the ocean world. That was the sea dragon. As for the other overlords, they had long become food for the Mosasaurus. No wonder the sea dragon was so powerful. It was because its body was too big. It was unknown how much power such a huge body contained. Therefore, this sea dragon was simply an invincible existence. Crack! After the sea dragon's bloody mouth closed, more than a dozen pterosaurs were instantly swallowed by the sea dragon. After seeing this scene, many people's faces turned pale with horror. Those pterosaurs were also very powerful, but in front of the sea dragon, they were vulnerable. They were only worthy of becoming the sea dragon's food. After swallowing more than a dozen pterosaurs, the sea dragon disappeared. Huff, huff, huff. Many people felt that their breathing had become rapid. The shock that the sea dragon brought to everyone was too shocking. Even the pterosaurs didn't have the ability to fight back under the sea dragon's attack. What if the cultivators were attacked by the sea dragon? Wouldn't they die without a doubt? The only fortunate thing was that there didn't seem to be many sea dragons in the sea, because at this stage, everyone had only seen one sea dragon. Except for the previous one, they didn't see a second one. But at this moment, a very terrifying scene happened. When the pterosaurs rushed to the area where the power of time and space lingered, they tried to pass through that area. The pterosaurs' bodies directly exploded. After seeing this scene, everyone's faces couldn't help but change slightly. What was going on? Why were those pterosaurs dying one after another? That area was very strange, as if there was an invisible force shrouding that area. However, the large number of pterosaurs' deaths didn't scare off the other dragons. Many dragons rushed into the sea. Then, they swam to the depths. This was indeed a shocking scene. Those dragons couldn't fly, so they could only choose to swim to the area covered by the power of time and space. It was a little funny, but all of this was real. Lin Feng said, "Demon Lord, didn't they say that the prehistoric dragons had incomparably terrifying magic? Why can't these prehistoric dragons fly?" The Demon Lord said, "This may be the price that the prehistoric dragons paid. They escaped the prehistoric catastrophe, but they lost the ability to fly." Hearing this, Lin Feng's face changed slightly. Perhaps there was really such a possibility. Those prehistoric dragons were very fast even in the sea. Lin Feng had originally heard a saying, It was said that the earliest dragons evolved from the fierce beasts in the sea. Therefore, the dragons were born with the ability to swim. It seemed that this saying was quite reliable. A large number of dragons rushed to the area covered by the power of time and space. They really yearned for the outside world too much. However, when those dragons arrived at the area covered by the power of time and space, their bodies directly exploded. Just like the pterosaurs before, the densely packed dragon tribe had all fallen. It was really too tragic. The blood of the dragons dyed the sea red. Even the dragons can't go out. Will we be trapped in this place and die? A cultivator said in horror. Many people's faces changed drastically. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. The situation in front of him was indeed very worrying. If they were trapped here, it would be troublesome. They would probably never be able to go out again. Chapter 48-41. Roar. A loud dragon roar could be heard from within the island. When they heard the loud dragon roar, the prehistoric dragons began to retreat. Dragon King. It must be the Dragon King. The Dragon King gave the order for them to retreat quickly. A cultivator said. Many people were shocked. There was actually a Dragon King in this place. The Dragon King ruled over the dragons. It seemed that this island was definitely more complicated than they had imagined. Let's go quickly. The dragons are returning to Dragon Island. If they see us, it will be troublesome, a cultivator said. Next, a large number of cultivators. They gathered together and headed towards the inner part of the island. Not long after, the dragons rushed out from the sea and entered the forest. Swoosh, swoosh. Light flashed and some cultivators flew out from the void. They were actually cultivators who had been transported by the space-time ability. As soon as these cultivators arrived on Dragon Island, they encountered the dragons. Before many cultivators could even react to what was going on, they had already been devoured by the giant dragon in one gulp. How sad. Yi Fuqian sighed. Lin Feng could not help but mutter. He mourned for those cultivators who had just appeared and died tragically. Why did they have to enter Dragon Island earlier or later? They had to wait for the dragons to return to Dragon Island. They were really unlucky. Sometimes, when bad luck came, it was really unstoppable. Especially in the world of cultivators, if bad luck came, cultivators might lose their lives. I wonder where Wuliang Daoist, Du Zhu, and the rest were transported to. This island seems a little too big. Lin Feng stood on a 100-meter tall tree and looked into the distance. The island. He could not see the end of it. It was not an easy task to find Wuliang Daoist, Du Zhu, and the rest here. Moreover, Lin Feng realized that after arriving here, his divine consciousness and magic power were greatly suppressed. The deeper he went, the greater the suppression. This island clearly had its own rules. This made Lin Feng feel helpless. However, Lin Feng felt relieved when he thought about how the others seemed to be in the same situation. Even if his dermic powers were completely sealed, Lin Feng believed that with his own physical body, he would still be able to sweep across all directions. The group of dragons once again entered the forest. Lin Feng looked for a place to rest. In the dead of night, the dragons didn't come out at night because the dragons like to be active during the day. I, Long Outyin, am going to soar. Late at night, Lin Feng heard a loud laugh. Long Outyin? This guy actually appeared here? Lin Feng woke up with a start. He opened his eyes and couldn't help but mutter. Long Outyin had been imprisoned in a stone orb back then. When he obtained the stone orb, he originally thought that it was a treasure. Who would have thought that after the stone orb cracked, Long Outyin would be born? This bastard actually wanted to devour him. However, his divine power was devoured by the mysterious woman in the demonic bead. His cultivation base plummeted. Later on, as time passed, Long Outyin's strength slowly recovered. After that, Long Outyin went to the great sage world. It was said that this guy wanted to take in a few saintesses of the myriad races as his maids. He angered the myriad races. He was hunted down by the myriad races. Then, he fled. Since then, there had been no trace of him. Now, Long Outyin had actually appeared here. This really surprised Lin Feng. As the saying goes, good people don't live long, but disasters live for 1,000 years. Long Outyin, This bastard has indeed proven this saying. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. Lin Feng wanted to see what kind of opportunity Long Outyin had obtained. He flew in the direction of the voice. From afar, Lin Feng saw an eastern divine dragon that was hundreds of meters long flying in his direction. Who else could it be other than Long Outyin? However, at that moment, a huge claw that covered the sky emerged from the forest. It was a dragon claw. Lin Feng saw how huge the existence was. It was a huge dragon that was 10,000 meters tall. T-Rex. It was actually a T-Rex. Lin Feng was shocked. Wasn't this T-Rex's body too big? No. To be precise, this wasn't a T-Rex. It was a prehistoric T-Rex. An ordinary T-Rex wouldn't have such a huge body. Only a prehistoric T-Rex would have such a huge body. The huge claw slammed into Long Outyin's body and sent him flying. Long Outyin's huge body directly knocked down a large number of trees. F***ck. So sick, Long Outyin wailed. He turned into his human form and wanted to escape. Previously, this guy was very proud. But now, he even had the heart to cry. The prehistoric T-Rex was too powerful and didn't give Long Outyin a chance to escape. The prehistoric T-Rex's huge claw slapped Long Outyin's body again. This time, Long Outyin suffered even more damage. He was sent flying once again. Wah! In midair, Long Outyin began to vomit blood. After suffering this terrifying attack, Long Outyin felt that his body didn't belong to him anymore. I'm too pitiful. I'm really too pitiful. I shouldn't have gotten carried away. Big brother, uncle, grandpa violent dragon. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Please spare my life. Grandpa violent dragon. Long Outyin loudly begged for mercy, snot and tears running down his face. That appearance was as miserable as it could be, as pitiful as it could be. As expected, it's still the Long Outyin I know. Seeing Long Outyin's shameless begging for mercy, Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. Long Outyin was like this. Therefore, Lin Feng was already used to it. However, Long Outyin's begging was useless. The prehistoric T-Rex didn't let Long Outyin go just because he begged for mercy. The prehistoric T-Rex's huge claw slammed towards Long Outyin again. He wanted to slap Long Outyin to death with one claw. At this time, in the darkness, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. Sunshot Divine Arrow. It was as if it had turned into an eternal light, shooting towards the prehistoric T-Rex. Sunshot Divine Arrow. Long Outyin cried out in alarm. The prehistoric T-Rex's claw that was about to slap Long Outyin quickly retracted. Then, it slapped towards the Sunshot Divine Arrow. The huge claw slapped onto the Sunshot Divine Arrow and immediately sent the Sunshot Divine Arrow flying. Long Outyin seized this opportunity and quickly flew towards Lin Feng. The Sunshot Divine Arrow was summoned back by Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't dare to hesitate and rushed into the distance with Long Outyin. Roar! The prehistoric T-Rex let out an incomparably angry roar. It quickly chased after Lin Feng and Long Outyin as the prehistoric T-Rex ran. Chapter 48-42. F***ck. It's the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus. Run. Many cultivators saw the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus running through the forest. They could not help but scream in fear. The prehistoric Tyrannosaurus was just too terrifying. Anyone who saw the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus would be terrified. No one was willing to face such a terrifying existence. After running for a while, they realized that the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus did not seem to be interested in them. Therefore, the cultivators stopped. The cultivators looked around and saw the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus chasing after two cultivators. Did those two unlucky bastards offend the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus? Someone muttered. How sad. They've angered the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus. They're most likely going to die. Someone said. Naturally, they did not think that Lin Feng and Long Outyin could escape from the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus. The prehistoric Tyrannosaurus was just too powerful. Even if some ordinary true immortals were to come, they would not be a match for the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus. Facing such a powerful existence, ordinary cultivators would die without a doubt. Only those true immortals might be able to escape from the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus pursuit. Lin Feng looked too young, and Long Outyin seemed to be injured. How could such a combination survive the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus pursuit? Lin Feng naturally did not know what the cultivators around him were thinking. Now that he was being targeted by the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus, the situation was really bad. Long Outyin said, "Little Lin Feng, you're really loyal. Today, I'm so touched that I'm crying." Of course, Lin Feng did not believe Long Outyin's nonsense. Lin Feng said, "I'm really touched. Share what you got with me later." Hearing Lin Feng's words, Long Outyin's mouth twitched violently. He said, "I didn't get anything. I don't know what you're talking about." Lin Feng said speechlessly, "If you didn't get anything, would the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus chase after you? I think I should suppress you now and throw you to the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus. Then, I can escape." Long Outyin howled. "How can you treat your old friend like this?" Lin Feng said, "Aren't you embarrassed to take all the good stuff for yourself? You have to know how to share, okay? You win." Long Outyin gritted his teeth. "Does that mean you agree?" Lin Feng asked. "Yes, but let's get out of here first. If the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus catches up to us, we'll all become its snacks," Long Outyin said. This guy was injured by the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex, and his injuries were quite serious. Therefore, his current speed wasn't particularly fast either. He wanted to escape from the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus. He needed Lin Feng's help. "Don't worry. Although the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex is powerful in terms of speed, it's still miles away from me," Lin Feng said confidently. Long Outyin said with a sad face, "Big brother, can you stop bragging? The prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex is about to catch up." At this moment, the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex was indeed quite close to Lin Feng and Long Outyin. There was still more than 1,000 meters left. Such a close distance was naturally nothing to the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex. It would be able to catch up very quickly. At this moment, Lin Feng grabbed Long Outyin's shoulder and used the supreme ability, the 8 Worlds. When this ability was used, Lin Feng's speed increased greatly. It was as if there were 8 small worlds under his feet. Soon, the distance between Lin Feng and the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex was getting further and further away. Roar, roar, roar. The prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex behind them roared angrily. Seeing that Lin Feng was about to break away from it with Long Outyin, the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex was naturally infuriated. However, the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex couldn't catch up to Lin Feng and Long Outyin. After all, speed was indeed a big disadvantage of the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex. They escaped for dozens of miles. Only then did Lin Feng stop. He looked at Long Outyin and said, "Hurry up and take out the treasure that you obtained. Let me see what it is." "Treasure? What treasure?" Long Outyin had a puzzled expression. Obviously, this guy was pretending to be stupid. It was obvious that he wanted to go back on his word. Seeing Long Outyin's appearance, Lin Feng really had the urge to beat him into a pig's head. "Long Outyin, don't challenge my patience," Lin Feng said. Long Outyin said, "Brother, look at what you're saying. When did I challenge your patience? It's just that I don't quite understand what you meant by what you said just now," Lin Feng said. "If that's the case, I can only let you have a taste of a fist that's bigger than a sandbag." With that, Lin Feng directly rushed towards Long Outyin. "Do you think I'm afraid of you? Even if I'm injured right now, it's still as easy as flipping my hand to take care of you." Long Outyin was not afraid of Lin Feng at all. Instead, he was very arrogant. The next moment, Lin Feng and Long Outyin started fighting. Lin Feng showed off his invincible might. One punch after another landed on Long Outyin's body. Long Outyin could not withstand Lin Feng's powerful attacks at all. "Ouch, it hurts. Ouch, I was wrong. Ouch, I won't act tough anymore. Ouch, spare me. Ouch, my brother, please spare me." Long Outyin's screams could be heard one after another. This guy failed to act tough and was beaten up instead. Lin Feng did not show mercy to Long Outyin. He was very ruthless. Long Outyin was so frustrated that he wanted to die. In the past, Lin Feng was nothing in his eyes. Now, he could not even defeat Lin Feng. This made Long Outyin extremely frustrated. Don't you think it's too late for you to start begging for mercy now? Don't you think it's too late? Lin Feng said as he beat Long Outyin up. Long Outyin was tough and could not be beaten to death. Lin Feng had tried to burn him to death with heavenly fire, but he had failed. If you keep hitting me, I'll really die. I'll take out the treasure. Stop hitting me, Long Outyin shouted. Lin Feng stopped when he heard that. He said, hurry up and take it out. Stop wasting my time. Long Outyin mumbled, this is so depressing. Back in the day, I was such a terrifying existence. If I wasn't sealed by someone and had my divine power devoured by the woman in the demonic orb, do you think you could be my match? Lin Feng kicked Long Outyin and scolded. What's the point of saying all these useless things? No matter how awesome you were in the past, that's all in the past. If you don't take out the treasure, I'll beat you up again. Long Outyin shrunk his neck and reluctantly took out an item. Chapter 48-43. It was a dragon egg. There were all sorts of runes on the dragon egg. Lin Feng guessed that dragon egg should be the dragon egg of the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus rex. Long Outyin actually stole the dragon egg of the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus rex. No wonder the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus rex was so angry. It was not easy for the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus rex to lay a dragon egg. It was even more difficult to hatch a dragon egg. So, the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus rex had always attached great importance to the inheritance of their descendants. Who would dare to have any ideas about the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus rex's descendants? That was simply courting death. However, Long Outyin had done exactly that. Long Outyin said, I risked my life to get this dragon egg. You don't want to snatch the dragon egg from me, do you? Do you have the heart to do that? Lin Feng was speechless. This guy was pretending to be pitiful in front of him again. However, just as Long Outyin said, he really did not want to snatch the dragon egg that Long Outyin had obtained. After all, they were old acquaintances. Although they weren't good friends, they were still old acquaintances. Moreover, the current Lin Feng did not have that much energy to nurture a young dragon, and it was hard to say if it could hatch a young dragon. Keep the dragon egg yourself? Lin Feng said. Hee, brother. You're still the kind-hearted one, Long Outyin said with a smile. This guy happily kept the dragon egg. However, at this time, Lin Feng realized that something was wrong. Previously, Long Outyin had said that he was going to be rich. Naturally, he would not speak without thinking. However, with just a dragon egg, how could Long Outyin become rich? In other words, Long Outyin lied to him. After thinking about it, Lin Feng's face darkened. Long Outyin actually lied to him. Long Outyin, do you have anything else that you haven't taken out? Lin Feng looked at Long Outyin and asked. Long Outyin was shocked, but his expression quickly returned to normal. He said, no. What else do I have that I haven't taken out? I only got this dragon egg. Didn't I show it to you just now? You don't suspect that I'm hiding other treasures, do you? I, Long Outyin, am a gentleman. I would never do such a thing. Long Outyin spoke with a righteous look on his face. Those who were not familiar with Long Outyin's character might have been fooled by Long Outyin. However, Long Outyin wanted to deceive Lin Feng. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Lin Feng was not going to fall for Long Outyin's trick. Lin Feng did not waste time talking to Long Outyin. He went up and started punching and kicking him. Ouch, it hurts. Ouch, spare my life. Ouch, why did you hit me? I know I was wrong. Long Outyin screamed again and again. Lin Feng said, if you know you're wrong, then quickly take it out. Long Outyin did not take it out. Instead, he said gloomily, other old friends will cry when they meet, but you're punching and kicking your old friend. Lin Feng, I misjudged you. Lin Feng pursed his lips and said, back then, I was almost eaten by you. You should be thankful that I didn't kill you. What's wrong with beating you up to vent my anger? I think I've been magnanimous enough to you. Long Outyin said, you're bringing up old scores. How many years has it been? A gentleman does not hold grudges against the past. Why do you still remember old grudges? Lin Feng said, I'm not a gentleman. Isn't it normal to hold grudges? How many true gentlemen were there among the billions of living beings in the myriad of worlds and realms? How many people cannot hold grudges? Bang, bang, bang. As soon as he finished speaking, another round of punches and kicks. Long Outyen's face was bruised and swollen. Long Outyen was miserable. I'm going to die. I'm really going to be beaten to death. I'll take it out for you to see. Long Outyen finally could not take it anymore. In the end, he gave in and decided to take out the item. Long Outyen had always been a despicable person. If you spoke to him seriously, he would be full of nonsense. There was no truth in his words. He could fool you until you lost your sense of direction. Therefore, to deal with a despicable person like Long Outyen, there was only one way. That was to use a pair of iron fists to beat him until he was obedient. After all, Long Outyen's body was very tough. There was no need to worry about beating him to death. Lin Feng stopped. Who would have thought that Long Outyen would turn and run? Lin Feng had been guarding against Long Outyen. He knew that Long Outyen might run away. Therefore, when Long Outyen turned and ran, Lin Feng immediately used a spatial technique to lock down the void. Long Outyen's speed was greatly reduced. Kick divine skill. Lin Feng leaped and kicked at Long Outyen. No! Long Outyen screamed in horror. Bang! The next moment, that powerful kick ruthlessly landed on Long Outyen's body. Long Outyen was sent flying by Lin Feng's kick. This guy broke more than 10 trees and fell into the forest. Lin Feng rushed over and said, Long Outyen, you really need to be taught a lesson. Long Outyen was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. He smiled apologetically and said, I'll take it out. Shwa. As soon as he finished speaking, 2 items appeared in Long Outyen's hands. The first item was a crystal stone. It was surrounded by the power of time and space. It was unknown what it was. The second item was a yellow stone. Lin Feng also did not know what the second item was. But obviously, these 2 items should be extremely precious. Lin Feng asked, What are these? Long Outyen said, This crystal stone is called the Holy Dragon's Crystal. It is said to be a crystal stone left behind by a holy dragon after he fell. It records the legacy of the Dragon Clan and is extremely important to the cultivators of the Dragon Clan. Other than the legacy of the Dragon Clan, it also records his life's cultivation comprehension. When I was at my peak, I, Long Outyen, was at the Sage-to-Be realm. I was only 1 step away from entering the Sage realm, but I was unable to break through. Hearing Long Outyen's words, Lin Feng could not help but reveal an extremely shocked expression. Long Outyen, this sloppy guy, was actually in existence at the Sage-to-Be realm when he was at his peak? This was truly inconceivable. However, the current Long Outyen was far from his peak. Of course, to be honest, Long Outyen's recovery was not bad. He was probably at the virtual immortal realm. Although the virtual immortal realm was the lowest level of the true immortal realm, it was still a true immortal. If Long Outyen was not injured, Lin Feng would not be Long Outyen's match with his combat strength. Chapter 48-44. Of the 2 treasures, the first treasure was extremely important to Long Outyen, so Lin Feng would not take it. Of course, Lin Feng was not particularly interested in the first treasure. Lin Feng was more interested in the second treasure. It was the earth yellow rock. When Lin Feng saw the yellow rock, he felt that it was extraordinary. Perhaps it was a treasure that was very important to him. Lin Feng pointed at the yellow rock and asked, What is that? Long Outyen said, It's called the Yellow Earth Immortal Rock. It's a type of rock that was formed when yellow earth was fused with an immortal rock. It's extremely rare, even in the early days of the era. It's the most powerful material for refining weapons. Lin Feng's face lit up when he heard that. Of Lin Feng's 2 natal magic treasures, the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp was still an emperor weapon. It was still 1 step away from evolving into a void immortal magic treasure. However, it was much harder for these magic treasures to evolve than for cultivators. Moreover, Lin Feng's Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp was such a powerful magic treasure. It was even more difficult for it to evolve. Therefore, there was only one way for the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp to evolve. It was to find a powerful material to fuse with it. However, such a material was extremely difficult to find. It depended on whether one was lucky enough to find it. Lin Feng felt that he was quite lucky to have found the yellow earth immortal rock. If he could smelt the yellow earth immortal rock and fuse it with the primal chaos ancient lamp when the time came, could the primal chaos ancient lamp evolve into a void immortal magic treasure? A void immortal magic treasure was still an immortal magic treasure. Its power would definitely increase tremendously. Lin Feng was looking forward to it. As for Lin Feng's other natal magic treasure, the primal chaos stone, it was almost at the level of an emperor weapon. However, the primal chaos stone was a little special. The primal chaos stone was made by Lin Feng using primal chaos immortal rock. Therefore, it could not be fused with other materials. This would destroy the primal chaos stone structure. If that happened, the primal chaos stone would be destroyed. Therefore, there were only two ways to evolve the primal chaos stone. The first type. Through Lin Feng's long-term refinement, the chaos stone could complete its evolution. However, this method clearly couldn't be completed overnight. It required the accumulation of time. The second type. Lin Feng found other primal chaos celestial stones and refined them into primal chaos stones. Then, Lin Feng's primal chaos celestial stones would be able to evolve. However, Lin Feng was well aware of just how difficult it was to find the chaos immortal stones. Lin Feng looked at the yellow earth immortal rock in Long Outyan's hand. Then a smile appeared on his face. Long Outyan mumbled to himself. He felt that Lin Feng's smile made him uneasy. Lin Feng looked at Long Outyan and said, "I want the yellow earth immortal stone." Long Outyan said, "This is a treasure that I risked my life to obtain. If you want the yellow earth immortal stone, there's no problem. However, you'll have to exchange it with other treasures." Lin Feng said speechlessly, "Exchange my ass. If I didn't save you just now, you would have lost your life. This yellow earth immortal stone is my reward for saving your life." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng snatched the yellow earth immortal stone back. Long Outyan was furious. He had always been the one who snatched other people's treasures. When had he, Long Outyan's treasure, ever been snatched away by others? However, now, he knew that the yellow earth immortal stone had been snatched away by Lin Feng. This made Long Outyan extremely angry. He couldn't wait to beat Lin Feng up. Endure, endure, endure. A little impatience spoils great plans. Wait until I recover. Wait and see how I deal with this kid. When the time comes, I'll definitely make this kid pay for my loss tenfold. Long Outyan comforted himself in his heart. After comforting himself, Long Outyan instantly felt much better. Long Outyan said, "Let's find a place to cultivate in seclusion. You can refine your treasure while I recover my cultivation." Lin Feng said, "Let's go our separate ways." Lin Feng chose a direction and quickly flew over. Long Outyan said, "Don't. Why do we have to go our separate ways? We're brothers who have risked our lives together and explored dangers together. Of course, we have to stay together." Long Outyan was extremely thick-skinned. He quickly chased after Lin Feng. Lin Feng couldn't be bothered with Long Outyan. He just let him follow beside him. Soon after, Lin Feng found a place to cultivate in seclusion. The place Lin Feng chose to practice his cultivation was a dry cave. The cave was very big. Lin Feng sealed the cave with a seal. Long Outyan found a place to heal his injuries while Lin Feng took out the chaotic ancient lamp and the yellow earth immortal stone. He began to smelt the yellow earth immortal stone. Under Lin Feng's smelting, the yellow earth immortal stone gradually melted. Then, the melted yellow earth immortal stone was all refined by Lin Feng into the chaotic ancient lamp. The chaotic ancient lamp's aura was constantly rising. About an hour later, all the yellow earth immortal stone was successfully integrated into the chaotic ancient lamp. There were waves of violent fluctuations coming from the chaotic ancient lamp. Then, a large amount of immortal light surged out and surrounded the chaotic ancient lamp. Seeing this, Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. It seemed that the chaotic ancient lamp was about to complete its transformation. This transformation was naturally delightful. Next, he just had to wait for the chaotic ancient lamp to complete its transformation. Time passed quickly. The transformation of the chaotic ancient lamp took longer than Lin Feng expected. It took 3 full days for the primal chaos ancient lamp to complete its transformation. After the transformation, many mysterious runes appeared on the chaotic ancient lamp. Those runes all contained extraordinary power. They were immortal Tao runes. The immortal Tao runes formed by the chaotic ancient lamp proved that the chaotic ancient lamp had completed its transformation. From an emperor weapon, it had transformed into an immortal Tao weapon. Lin Feng held the chaotic ancient lamp in his hand and carefully sensed the powerful energy contained within it. His face lit up with joy. The chaotic ancient lamp contained a lot more power than Lin Feng had expected. This made Lin Feng extremely happy. The chaotic ancient lamp had completed its transformation. Next, it would continue to transform into a true immortal Tao weapon. After that, it would be a sage weapon, or even an existence that surpassed sage weapons. At this time, Long Outyin also came out of seclusion. He had completely recovered to his peak state. After Lin Feng and Long Outyin left the cave, Long Outyin's body suddenly emitted a terrifying aura. That terrifying qi was moving towards Lin Feng to envelop him. Long Outyin, what is the meaning of this? Chapter 48-45. What do you think I'm doing? I just want to beat you up. Long Outyin looked at Lin Feng angrily. His eyes were as sharp as they could be. He could not wait to step on Lin Feng. Long Outyin had been beaten up badly by Lin Feng. Now that Long Outyin had recovered, he wanted to take revenge. Lin Feng said, I beat you up for your own good. Do you know what it means to have good intentions? I beat you up in order to establish your correct outlook on life and values. Long Outyin was furious when he heard Lin Feng's words. He had been beaten up so badly. Now, Lin Feng had the nerve to say that he beat him up for his own good. This made Long Outyin gnash his teeth in anger. Kid, take my fist. Long Outyin yelled and punched out with his sacred dragon fist. Behind him, a dragon shadow immediately condensed. The dragon shadow merged with the fist and charged towards Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng was prepared. He easily dodged Long Outyin's powerful punch. Lin Feng said, Long Outyin, if you want to fight, I can play with you. However, don't blame me if I hit you too hard. Long Outyin curled his lips and said, Kid, can you stop bragging? The sky is about to be broken by your boasting. Previously, I couldn't beat you because I was injured. Now that I've fully recovered, my fighting strength has skyrocketed. Dealing with you is as easy as flipping my hand. Long Outyin was full of confidence. It was no wonder that Long Outyin was so confident. After all, Long Outyin's cultivation was strong. Long Outyin charged towards Lin Feng again. Lin Feng waved his hand. The two evil god stone statues flew out. Lin Feng and the two evil god stone statues worked together to attack Long Outyin. After more than 10 rounds, Long Outyin was defeated by Lin Feng and the two evil god stone statues. Bang 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 next. Another tragic group brawl took place. Why is this happening? Ouch, it hurts. Stop hitting me. I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Big brother Lin Feng, spare my life. Lord Lin Feng, spare my life. Grandpa Lin Feng, have mercy. Long Outyin's screams sounded extremely pitiful. However, Lin Feng did not let Long Outyin go just because he begged for mercy. 15 minutes later, Lin Feng felt a little tired. Only then did he stop. Long Outyin was wailing. In reality, Long Outyin's physical body was too strong. Therefore, he was not injured at all. Moreover, Lin Feng had a sense of propriety. It wouldn't hurt Long Outyin. Lin Feng put away the two evil god statues. Long Outyin got up from the ground and said with a grimace, You won unfairly. Lin Feng said, Magic treasures are also a part of a cultivator's cultivation. The two evil god stone statues are my magic treasures. Since that's the case, how can you say that I won unfairly? When Long Outyin heard Lin Feng's words, he naturally agreed. However, he felt a little aggrieved in his heart. Long Outyin said, How hateful. If Lord Long Outyin still had my previous strength, I would be able to trample you under my feet today. I would be able to do whatever I want to you. Lin Feng pursed his lips and said, Forget it. A person should live in the present and not in the past. So, you should think about how to raise your cultivation. Speaking of the matter of increasing one's cultivation, Long Outyin, on the other hand, looked very confident. He said, "Don't worry, I have been reborn. Moreover, I have a deeper understanding of the true meaning of life. So, in the near future, I will definitely be able to break through my shackles. I will become a true immortal. Only by becoming a true immortal could one be considered to have shed their mortal body." Naturally, this was something that everyone dreamed of. Lin Feng said then, "Continue to work hard." He didn't stop and instead flew deeper into the island. In the depths of the island, from time to time, the roars of beasts and the cries of apes could be heard. On Dragon Island, there were not only dragons, but also many powerful ancient creatures. They were also trapped on Dragon Island. "How much do you know about Dragon Island?" Lin Feng looked at Long Outyin and asked. Long Outyin said, "It's said that it's a prehistoric island that was sealed by someone with supreme magic power. Otherwise, the prehistoric dragon tribe on this prehistoric island would have been destroyed along with the catastrophe. And on this prehistoric island, the prehistoric dragon emperor is buried. If we can find the prehistoric dragon emperor, that would be a great opportunity." "What kind of existence is the dragon emperor?" Lin Feng asked in shock. "It is said that the prehistoric dragon emperor was an existence that could compete with the 3 progenitor dragons. Although the prehistoric dragon emperor was not a progenitor dragon, no one dared to underestimate him. There is another legend that states that the prehistoric dragon emperor's battle prowess even surpassed the 3 progenitor dragons." Long Outyin said, "He's that powerful?" Lin Feng was shocked. He said, "Aren't the ancestral dragons the most ancient and the strongest of the dragons?" Long Outyin nodded and said, "There is indeed such a saying. However, you should know that the glory created by the predecessors can be broken by the later generations. For example, your ancestor was very powerful. Perhaps one day in the future, your battle prowess will surpass your ancestor." Lin Feng nodded and said, "How did the Dragon Emperor fall?" Long Outyin said, "Rumor has it that the prehistoric Dragon Emperor was injured. In order to seal the Dragon Island and leave behind some bloodline inheritance for the prehistoric dragon tribe, he paid a heavy price. After completing all of this, he finally died." Lin Feng said, "The Dragon Emperor's death was too tragic. I wonder if his bloodline was passed down. If there is, it must be extremely heaven-defying, right?" Long Outyin said mysteriously, "Of course there is. It is said that before the final battle, the prehistoric Dragon Emperor sealed the baby Dragon Emperor before it was hatched. Then, he asked someone to bring the baby Dragon Emperor out." "Oh, such a thing actually happened?" Lin Feng couldn't help but show a surprised expression. Long Outyin nodded and said, "Later on, there was a rumor that the Dragon Emperor's subordinates brought the Dragon Emperor to this island. That's why the Dragon Emperor came to this island after he was severely injured in order to find his son. If that's the case, the Dragon Emperor's only son might be on this island?" Lin Feng said while stroking his chin. Chapter 48-46. At this time, Lin Feng heard Xiaolong's cry. Swoosh! In the next moment, a light flashed and Xiaolong flew out. After the little guy flew out, he looked around with his big round eyes. "This is?" Long Outyin's eyes widened when he saw Xiaolong. As a member of the Dragon Clan, moreover, it was the Eastern Divine Dragon Clan. Long Outyin's bloodline was extremely noble. Other than the ancestral dragon, the true dragon, and the prehistoric Dragon Clan's royal clan, the Eastern Divine Dragon Clan's bloodline was the top bloodline among the Dragon Clan. However, when Long Outyin saw Xiaolong, he could feel that Xiaolong was extraordinary. Xiaolong's bloodline was too powerful. "Can you tell which bloodline Xiaolong belongs to?" Lin Feng looked at Long Outyin and asked. Long Outyin shook his head and said, "I don't know, but this little guy's bloodline is very powerful. Although its bloodline hasn't been fully developed, I can still feel an unparalleled power from its bloodline." Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. Even Long Outyin didn't know Xiaolong's clan. He really didn't know which clan Xiaolong came from. Lin Feng said, "Could it be a descendant of the ancestral dragon?" Long Outyin said, "I don't think so. I've seen a descendant of the ancestral dragon before, and the aura on its body was completely different. Therefore, I don't think it's a descendant of the ancestral dragon. Lin Feng said, perhaps we can only wait until it grows up and awakens some of its clan's memories. Only then will we know what clan it is. Long Outyin said, no matter what clan it is, this little guy is very heaven-defying. I feel that even the Tyrannosaurus Rex's bloodline is very weak compared to it. It's worth nurturing. At this time, Xiaolong flapped its wings and quickly flew into the depths. Xiaolong, where are you going? Lin Feng quickly caught up and asked. Xiaolong let out a cry. Lin Feng roughly understood what Xiaolong meant. Xiaolong said that it felt something calling it. This made Lin Feng very shocked. There was actually something calling out to Xiaolong. What was it that was calling out to Xiaolong? If they could find the thing that was calling out to the little dragon, the results might be shocking. Of course, Long Outyin could understand the Dragon Clan's language. He said, this little thing is going to encounter some extraordinary opportunities here. How enviable. I have been on the Dragon Island for so long, but I have yet to encounter any opportunities. Comparisons are odious, and so are dragons. Lin Feng said, didn't you get a dragon egg and the holy dragon crystal from the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus? Isn't this a great opportunity? Long Outyin said, this is something that I fought for myself, and it was something that I risked my life to obtain. But look at this little guy. How lucky is he? A treasure actually took the initiative to call it. When Long Outyin said that, Lin Feng realized that Xiaolong's luck was off the charts. He wondered what it was that was calling out to Xiaolong. Lin Feng was looking forward to finding out. Xiaolong's speed was very fast. It brought Lin Feng and Long Outyin through the forest. As they went deeper into the Dragon Island, the beasts that Lin Feng and the rest encountered were getting stronger. The prehistoric Dragon Clan members were also getting stronger. When they passed through a forest, Lin Feng and the rest encountered two creatures that were fighting. One of the creatures was a gigantic scorpion. The scorpion was 300 meters long, and its entire body was as black as ink. Its aura was extremely terrifying, especially its pair of gigantic poisonous pincers, which gave off a bone-chilling aura. Other than that, the poisonous stinger at the end of the scorpion's tail was also glowing with a blue luster. The stinger at the end of the scorpion's tail was obviously extremely poisonous. The creature that was fighting the scorpion was a lightning dragon. The lightning dragon was much smaller than the scorpion. It was only about 100 meters long. It was surrounded by the power of lightning. At this moment, there were dozens of dragon corpses lying on the ground. Those corpses were probably killed by the gigantic scorpion. It's a dragon-eating scorpion. It's a scorpion that specifically feeds on the Dragon Clan, Long Outyin said. Hearing that, Lin Feng could not help but feel incredulous. That gigantic scorpion actually feeds on the Dragon Clan? How could it be so sick? It seemed that the gigantic scorpion was extremely powerful. The lightning dragon in front of them probably wanted to take revenge for the Dragon Clan members that had died. Whoosh! The lightning dragon was extremely fast as it charged towards the dragon-eating scorpion with the power of lightning. In an instant, the lightning dragon was in front of the dragon-eating scorpion. At this moment, the dragon-eating scorpion swung its gigantic claws at the lightning dragon. The lightning dragon quickly dodged to the left and successfully dodged the dragon-eating scorpion's attack. Then, the lightning dragon charged above the dragon-eating scorpion. It slammed its claws on the dragon-eating scorpion's head. The power of lightning intertwined and struck the dragon-eating scorpion's head. However, the dragon-eating scorpion's head was extremely tough. The dragon-eating scorpion managed to block the lightning dragon's terrifying attack. The dragon-eating scorpion's gigantic tail flew towards the lightning dragon. The stinger at the end of the scorpion's tail stabbed towards the lightning dragon. The lightning dragon's reaction was extremely fast. Before the stinger at the end of the scorpion's tail could stab its body, the lightning dragon leaped into the air and dodged the attack. In the next moment, an even more powerful power of lightning surged out from the lightning dragon's body. This time, the power of lightning that surged out was purple. This meant that the lightning dragon's attack this time was even more powerful. The purple power of lightning completely enveloped the lightning dragon's body. The lightning dragon turned into a gigantic lightning ball. Then, the purple lightning ball descended from the sky and struck towards the dragon-eating scorpion. After sensing the power of the purple lightning ball, Lin Feng could not help but be shocked. As expected of the prehistoric dragon clan, the combat strength of this lightning dragon was extremely terrifying. Bang! In the next moment, the gigantic lightning ball struck the dragon-eating scorpion's body. However, what was shocking was that the surface of the dragon-eating scorpion's body was covered in runes. Each rune contained an unimaginably terrifying power. Those runes were actually able to block Lei Long's powerful attack. Then, the dragon-eating scorpion's gigantic claws struck the lightning dragon's body and sent it flying. While the lightning dragon's body was still in midair, the dragon-eating scorpion's gigantic tail flew towards the lightning dragon again. The lightning dragon quickly dodged the attack of the dragon-eating scorpion's tail. However, this time, it was unable to dodge in time. The stinger at the end of the dragon-eating scorpion's tail was extremely sharp. It pierced through the lightning dragon's scales. Chapter 48-47. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, there was a loud sound. Thunder Dragon's body fell to the ground. But Thunder Dragon was not directly killed by the poison of the dragon-eating scorpion, because Thunder Dragon's vitality was very strong, and his Thunder Dragon bloodline seemed to be able to suppress the poison. Therefore, although Thunder Dragon was poisoned, it did not die. But even if it did not die, Thunder Dragon's body still suffered a heavy blow. Thunder Dragon fell to the ground and twitched violently. Seeing this scene, Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. Perhaps it was an instinctive reaction, or perhaps it was because of the little dragon. Lin Feng's favorability towards Thunder Dragon far exceeded that towards the dragon-eating scorpion. And the dragon-eating scorpion was evil, vicious, and indeed not likable. Lei Long, on the other hand, wanted to avenge the deaths of the other dragons. Therefore, it was injured by the dragon-eating scorpion. So Lin Feng felt that Thunder Dragon was not bad. At this time, the dragon-eating scorpion let out a low hiss, which contained a dense killing intent. The dragon-eating scorpion jumped out and directly pounced towards Thunder Dragon on the ground. Now Thunder Dragon no longer had the strength to resist. If it was attacked by the dragon-eating scorpion, it would definitely die. Therefore, he planned to help Thunder Dragon. But at this time, a deep roar could be heard. A little purple dragon jumped out of the forest. That little purple dragon was only a meter tall, but it gave people a very special feeling. Soon, Lin Feng discovered the uniqueness of the little purple dragon. The little purple dragon had an unparalleled aura. That kind of aura was the aura of a superior. It seemed to be innate. Whoosh! The little purple dragon directly pounced towards the dragon-eating scorpion. What was surprising was, the little purple dragon was too fast as lightning. In the blink of an eye, it had already rushed to the front of the dragon-eating scorpion. Then it waved its claws and slapped towards the dragon-eating scorpion. Even a powerful creature like Thunder Dragon was injured by the dragon-eating scorpion. Therefore, when it saw the little purple dragon pouncing towards it, the dragon-eating scorpion had an extremely disdainful expression. It was no wonder. After all, the little purple dragon was too small. In the eyes of the dragon-eating scorpion, it was not even enough to fill the gaps between its teeth. The huge scorpion tail of the dragon-eating scorpion danced nimbly. When the little purple dragon came to the side of the dragon-eating scorpion, the stinger at the end of the scorpion's tail pierced towards the purple dragon's body. The poisonous spike was about to pierce the little purple dragon's body. But at this critical moment, Yi Zichen's eyes lit up. Surprisingly, the little purple dragon managed to dodge the poisonous stinger that was aimed at it. Then, the purple dragon opened its mouth and bit down on the tail. Crack! The scorpion's tail was bitten off by the purple dragon. Scorpions were extremely reliant on their tails. The tail was a vital part of the scorpion's body. In many critical moments, the scorpion tail could often deal a fatal blow to the enemy. If they lost their scorpion tails, the fighting strength of scorpions would be greatly reduced. Dragon-eating scorpions were just like that. After its scorpion tail was bitten off, the dragon-eating scorpion let out a painful roar. The little purple dragon landed directly on the back of the dragon-eating scorpion. The dragon-eating scorpion was extremely angry. Its body shook violently. It wanted to throw the little purple dragon away. But the little purple dragon stood very steadily. The little purple dragon leaped up. In the next moment, it landed on the head of the dragon-eating scorpion. At this moment, Lin Feng saw that the little purple dragon's claws were emitting a purple energy. It was an extremely mysterious purple energy. The little purple dragon slapped the dragon-eating scorpion's head with its claws. Crack! The dragon-eating scorpion's head shattered. The powerful purple energy also surged into the dragon-eating scorpion's head. Then, the dragon-eating scorpion's head exploded. The dragon-eating scorpion's huge body twitched a few times before it stopped moving completely. Holy shit! That little purple dragon is so powerful. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng and Long Outyin were both stunned. That thunder dragon was so powerful, but it was still no match for the dragon-eating scorpion. However, the little purple dragon's body was so small. Yet, his combat prowess was so terrifying. It was truly inconceivable. Long Outyin said, "Something's not right. Something's not right with that little purple dragon. It should still be in its infancy stage, but it's already so powerful. How powerful would it be when it's in its adult stage?" Lin Feng said, "Could this little purple dragon be the son of the prehistoric dragon emperor?" Hearing Lin Feng's words, Long Outyin could not help but mutter. That was because the little purple dragon was too extraordinary. Perhaps it was really possible. At this moment, the little purple dragon took out a crystal from the dragon-eating scorpion's body. "It's the dragon-eating scorpion's energy crystal," Lin Feng said. Long Outyin's eyes were burning with desire. How powerful would the energy crystal of a powerful creature like the dragon-eating scorpion be? Long Outyin rubbed his hands together, wanting to snatch the dragon-eating scorpion's energy crystal. However, he was stopped by Lin Feng. Because the little dragon was too extraordinary, Lin Feng did not want to provoke it. The little dragon grabbed the dragon-eating scorpion's energy crystal and came to the front of Thunder Dragon. Purple energy surged out of the little dragon's body and wrapped around the energy crystal. Next, the energy crystal turned into the purest form of energy and poured into Lei Long's body. The poison in Thunder Dragon's body was quickly dissipated. Thunder Dragon's injuries were also quickly recovering. Not long after, Thunder Dragon was fully recovered. Moreover, Thunder Dragon's aura, it was much stronger than before. Obviously, after absorbing the majestic energy contained in the energy crystal, Thunder Dragon's combat power had increased greatly. Thunder Dragon got up from the ground. Then, it knelt in front of the little purple dragon and lowered its noble head. The little purple dragon stretched out its claws. It gently stroked Thunder Dragon's head. Then, the little purple dragon turned and left. In the blink of an eye, it had disappeared into the forest. Thunder Dragon did not stay and quickly left. Let's go and follow it. Let's see how extraordinary that little purple dragon is. If it's really the son of the prehistoric dragon emperor, we'll think of a way to capture it. Long Outyin said. Lin Feng said speechlessly, "You're a dragon after all. Don't you feel guilty about capturing the little purple dragon?" Long Outyin said, "I just want to give this guy some pointers. What are you thinking? Don't misunderstand my good intentions." Lin Feng curled his lips. He naturally did not believe Long Outyin's nonsense, but Lin Feng really wanted to see if the little purple dragon was the son of the prehistoric dragon emperor. Thus, Chapter 48. The little purple dragon's speed was extremely fast. However, Lin Feng and the rest were not slow either. In fact, Lin Feng and the rest thought that they could hide from the little purple dragon. However, it did not take long for Lin Feng, Long Outyin, and the little dragon to be discovered by the little purple dragon. The little purple dragon looked at Lin Feng, Long Outyin, and the little dragon with vigilance. When it saw the little dragon standing on Lin Feng's shoulder, the little purple dragon revealed an extremely surprised expression. Then, the little purple dragon let out a series of cries. This was a cry that Lin Feng could not understand. It seemed to be conveying some message to the little dragon standing on Lin Feng's shoulder. What is that little purple dragon saying? Lin Feng looked at Long Outyin and asked. Long Outyin said, "That fellow told the little dragon that is a great dragon.
How can it live with other races? Therefore, it is bewitching the little dragon on your shoulder, wanting it to leave with it. F***ck. This is too much. Lin Feng could not help but say gloomily. At this moment, the little dragon on Lin Feng's shoulder bared its fangs and brandished its claws at the little purple dragon. Although Lin Feng could understand a part of the dragon's language. However, Lin Feng did not understand the dragon's language that the little dragon was speaking. After all, there were many dragons' languages. Lin Feng looked at Long Outyin and asked, "What did the little dragon say?" Long Outyin said, "This little fellow said that you are its family." Hearing Long Outyin's words, Lin Feng finally felt a little relieved in his heart. He did not dote on the little dragon for nothing. Lin Feng reached out his hand and patted the little dragon's head. The little dragon rubbed against Lin Feng's palm in enjoyment. Long Outyin said, "Since the little purple dragon has discovered us, we might as well use some forceful methods. I think we should forget about it. Let's hurry up and leave this place. There's no need to provoke the little purple dragon," Lin Feng said. He did not plan to offend the little purple dragon because Lin Feng felt that the little purple dragon was extraordinary. On Dragon Island, perhaps he had a unique identity. If that was the case, provoking the little purple dragon would not end well. However, Long Outyin did not listen to Lin Feng. He flew towards the little purple dragon. Roar! The little purple dragon let out a series of high-pitched dragon roars. When the little purple dragon finished speaking, next, one after another, gigantic prehistoric dragons appeared. Then, the prehistoric dragons looked at Long Outyin with murderous eyes. Even Lin Feng was hated. Perhaps the little dragon was the only one who was not hated by those prehistoric dragons. Those prehistoric dragons were probably still trying to instigate the little dragons. "Oh my God! Hurry up and run!" Long Outyin wailed loudly. Long Outyin was scared out of his wits the moment he saw the group of prehistoric dragons. As such, without hesitation, Long Outyin turned around and fled. Lin Feng did not dare to stay here either. There were more than a dozen dragons of all kinds. The aura of some of the dragons was even comparable to the prehistoric Tyrannosaurus Rex that he had encountered earlier. There were also a few powerful pterosaurs circling in the sky. When Lin Feng and Long Outyin fled, those prehistoric dragons attacked Lin Feng and Long Outyin one after another. One by one, huge dragon claws slapped towards Lin Feng and Long Outyin. Lin Feng and Long Outyin tried their best to avoid the other party's attacks. However, they were still unable to completely avoid the attacks of those dragons. The two of them were still sent flying by those dragons. Lin Feng immediately felt his blood boil. He almost spat out a mouthful of blood. F***ck. Aren't these prehistoric dragons too abnormal? Lin Feng even had the heart to cry. However, the situation in front of him really made him very depressed. At this time, a group of dragons pounced towards Lin Feng and Long Outyin respectively. "We're going to die. We're going to die. This time, we're really going to die. We've kicked an iron plate," Long Outyin screamed. Lin Feng's expression was also extremely ugly. Even if the prehistoric dragons were powerful, they shouldn't be powerful to this extent. Escaping from the encirclement of these prehistoric dragons seemed to be an extremely difficult task. Roar! At this time, Xiaolong suddenly let out a loud dragon roar. When Xiaolong's voice came out, the gigantic prehistoric dragons were all intimidated by the power of the dragon. All the prehistoric dragons were stunned on the spot. F***ck. Isn't this the Dragon Emperor's deterrence? Rumor has it that this is one of the top divine abilities of the dragon race. This little fellow is awesome, Long Outyin exclaimed. Then, he shouted, "Hurry up and leave. When those prehistoric dragons come back to their senses, we might not be able to escape." Lin Feng quickly nodded and rushed out with Long Outyin. He did not dare to stay here any longer. Xiaolong, on the other hand, grabbed onto Lin Feng's clothes tightly. Soon, Lin Feng and Long Outyin rushed out of the encirclement of the prehistoric dragons. Roar, roar, roar. At this time, the group of prehistoric dragons came back to their senses and roared furiously. Those prehistoric dragons were extremely powerful. They were actually intimidated by a little dragon. To a group of prehistoric dragons, this was simply a great humiliation. Previously, those prehistoric dragons were still thinking of recruiting Xiaolong, but now, they only wanted to tear Xiaolong to shreds. A group of prehistoric dragons quickly chased after Lin Feng and Long Outyin. Lin Feng's speed was naturally very fast, but Long Outyan's speed was much slower. Lin Feng stepped on the 8-directional world and then grabbed Long Outyan's collar and flew forward quickly. Long Outyan shouted unhappily, "Can you King grab somewhere else? You're ruining my image, you know?" Lin Feng said, "You're such a busybody. If you don't want to be caught by me, I'll throw you here to feed the prehistoric dragons." Don't, please don't. I was just talking nonsense. Please don't take it to heart," Long Outyan quickly said with a smile. In the end, Lin Feng and Long Outyan escaped from the group of prehistoric dragons. They stopped to rest in front of a pool. Lin Feng said, "Those guys don't seem to be ordinary prehistoric dragons. Although ordinary prehistoric dragons are very powerful, they definitely can't be as powerful as them." Long Outyan said, "It's the Dragon King. Those are the level of existence. They're all powerful beings of the Dragon King level. *CK. I was wondering why those prehistoric dragons were so powerful." Lin Feng could not help but say. After resting for a while, Lin Feng and Long Outyan continued their journey. Xiaolong led the way in front. Sob, sob, sob. Not long after, Xiaolong actually cried. Chapter 48-49. Xiaolong had been in a good mood before, but in the blink of an eye, it started crying. Lin Feng couldn't help but worry. "What's wrong with this little guy? Why are you crying all the time?" Long Outyan asked, confused. Lin Feng kicked Long Outyan. Then, he said speechlessly, "What nonsense are you talking about?" Lin Feng then looked at Xiaolong and asked, "Little guy, what happened?" While crying, the little dragon waved its little claws and danced about, trying to express something. Said Lin Feng, "What you're saying is that it seems like something is causing you to feel sad. Although you don't know what it is, you can't control your tears?" Xiaolong quickly nodded. Lin Feng rubbed Xiaolong's head and said, "Little guy, don't be afraid. No matter what happens, I'll always be by your side." Xiaolong rubbed its head against Lin Feng's palm. It continued to lead the way, while Lin Feng and Long Outyan followed behind it. Lin Feng and Long Outyan could feel Xiaolong's sadness. Although Long Outyan had a big mouth, he knew that he should speak less to avoid agitating Xiaolong. Therefore, Long Outyan didn't say anything. Lin Feng's mood was heavier. Xiaolong was crying very sadly. It was as if his heart was being torn apart. Lin Feng was worried that Xiaolong would be too sad when it saw the thing it was talking about. However, Lin Feng couldn't stop Xiaolong from seeing that thing. They walked deeper into the forest and encountered some powerful beasts or prehistoric dragons. Lin Feng and Long Outyan didn't avoid them. Xiaolong wanted to go deeper into the forest. Therefore, Lin Feng took out the 2 evil god statues. With the help of the 2 evil god statues, he and Long Outyan were able to kill anyone who stood in their way. No matter who stood in their way, only death awaited them. In the end, Lin Feng and the others arrived outside a pitch-black mountain forest. This pitch-black forest was surrounded by a terrifying power of death. In the outer area of the forest, there was a large pile of bones. There were skeletons of ferocious beasts, as well as skeletons of prehistoric dragons. After seeing those skeletons, Lin Feng could not help frowning. In this dark mountain forest, it was absolutely terrifying. Xiaolong sobbed as he flew forward. Lin Feng and Long Outyan accompanied Xiaolong into the forest. In the forest, there were also piles of bones of ferocious beasts and prehistoric dragons. Long Outyan said, "This place is surrounded by the death energy. It's extremely strange. I think it must be extremely dangerous. We have to be extra careful. If we encounter any danger later, we'll retreat immediately." Long Outyan could not be blamed for being so cautious. The situation in front of him was extremely dangerous. If it weren't for their strength, they wouldn't have been able to withstand the power of death here. Cultivators with slightly weaker cultivations. Their lifespan would be devoured by the power of death in an extremely short period of time.
Of course, the scariest thing was not the power of death in the dark mountain forest. Instead, it was an unknown power, or an extremely strange feeling. When Lin Feng entered, he felt as if he was being watched by something. In the dark, there seemed to be a pair of eyes watching their every move. It was an extremely strange feeling, but it felt so real. It was so strong. Therefore, Lin Feng had been vigilant of the surrounding situation, as Lin Feng and the others were now deeper into the Dragon Island. Therefore, the suppression of divine thought and Dharma power here was much more serious than outside. Lin Feng's divine thought was severely restricted, and his perception was greatly weakened. As for Lin Feng's Dharma power, it was also greatly suppressed. Therefore, Lin Feng's combat power was greatly weakened. It was because of these reasons that they had to be more careful. If there was really danger and they were careless, they might die here. Lin Feng and the others went deep into the dark mountain forest and did not encounter any danger. Other than a large number of skeletons, they did not see anything. There was also no danger. Lin Feng could not help but mutter. Could it be that he was thinking too much? An abyss appeared in the depths of the dark mountain forest. Black fog was emitted from the abyss. The abyss was extremely eerie and terrifying because it was covered by the rolling black fog. Therefore, there was no way to see what was in the abyss. Xiaolong flew towards the abyss. Lin Feng and Long Outyin also hurriedly followed. Their speed was very fast. Not long after, they entered the abyss. Xiaolong chose a direction and flew towards the bottom of the abyss. Finally, they came to the end of the abyss. When they came to that position, Lin Feng suddenly showed an extremely shocked expression. The reason for that was because there was a dragon skeleton there. It was a dragon skeleton that was not particularly big, only about 100 meters long. When Xiaolong saw the dragon skeleton, it immediately let out a heart-wrenching cry. Xiaolong flew towards the dragon skeleton. When it came to the dragon skeleton, it directly pounced on the dragon skeleton. Could it be Xiaolong's relative? Lin Feng could not help but mutter. Xiaolong was very mysterious. Until now, Lin Feng did not know which dragon clan Xiaolong was from. Even Long Outyin, the Eastern dragon god, did not know which dragon clan Xiaolong was from. From this, one could tell how shocking Xiaolong's origin was. Now, Xiaolong seemed to have found its relative. However, its relative had been dead for God knows how many years. Long Outyin said, "How could this little guy's relative die on Dragon Island? This Dragon Island has been sealed for countless years. Could it be that this little guy was sealed at that time? It was sealed in prehistoric times and only broke out of the seal not long ago. This kind of sealing method is too powerful." Lin Feng could not help but nod. It was indeed as Long Outyin said. Xiaolong was so young, but it was already so extraordinary. One could imagine how terrifying Xiaolong's elders were. If that's the case, Xiaolong is also from the prehistoric dragon clan? Lin Feng could not help but ask. Long Outyin nodded and said, "It is indeed possible. However, it is difficult to determine which dragon clan this little guy belongs to. After all, our understanding of the prehistoric dragon clan is limited." Yes, Lin Feng could not help but sigh. At that moment, Lin Feng suddenly felt a cold aura surging towards them. He looked outside. Immediately, he saw. Chapter 4850. Lin Feng could not help but frown when he saw the black fog that was rushing towards them. It seemed like danger was about to appear. F***CK. What's coming? Long Outyin could not help but exclaim. At this very moment, Long Outyin's expression was extremely solemn. He could clearly sense that the other party was not to be trifled with. Lin Feng was the same as Long Outyin. He could not help but feel a sense of solemnity in his heart. He came to Xiaolong's side and hugged him. Xiaolong grabbed onto Lin Feng's clothes. Then, he kept sobbing. The dead dragon tribe living being should be Xiaolong's kin. However, what was the exact relationship between that being and Xiaolong? Xiaolong's father? Mother? Or brother or sister? Or other kin? All of these were possibilities. A sinister laughter could be heard from the rolling black fog. When he heard that sinister laughter, Long Outyin shouted, "Which scoundrel is hiding in the black fog? Show yourself if you have the guts." You're courting death. The living being in the black fog said coldly. Then, a huge palm stretched out from the black fog. It was a palm that was formed by the black fog. The palm that was formed by the black fog slammed towards Long Outyin. This infuriated Long Outyin greatly. Because to Long Outyin, the other party was looking down on him. Long Outyin used the sacred dragon fist to attack the black fog palm formed by the other party. Bam! Following that, an extremely violent collision sound could be heard. The attacks from both parties collided fiercely. Long Outyin was sent flying by the other party's palm. How is this possible? Long Outyin yelled out in disbelief. No matter what, he was still a true immortal right now. Even if he was only at the first level of a true immortal, he was still a true immortal. Transcendence into immortality. Yet, he could not withstand the other party's casual attack. This difference was naturally huge. It was no wonder that Long Outyin could not believe everything that had happened. No matter who it was, it would be hard for them to accept it. Who are you? Lin Feng asked with a gloomy face. I am a person who hates all living things in this world. The existence within the black fog said coldly. At this moment, the black fog began to quickly recede. It didn't take long for the existence within the black fog to appear. This being was about 3 meters tall and had a pair of wings on its back. Its body was covered in golden scales. However, this existence's body had long since rotted away. His body was emitting a foul stench and a strong aura of death. The body of this existence. He had long lost all signs of life. However, his soul did not seem to have died. His soul could still control this rotten body. This was the first time Lin Feng had seen such a creature, so he didn't recognize it. Golden feather race beings. At this moment, Long Outyin said. He could not help but look extremely shocked. Is this clan very powerful? Lin Feng had never heard of the golden feather race and could not help but ask curiously. Long Outyin said solemnly. Of course they are powerful because they are the lost race of the epoch. Upon hearing that, Lin Feng could not help but look extremely shocked. It was actually the lost race of the epoch, a race that had transcended epochs. It was no wonder Long Outyin's voice was so solemn when he talked about this race. This race was very active among the lost races of the epoch in the early days of the epoch. In the prehistoric era, they participated in the battle against the prehistoric dragon race. Because of that battle, this race suffered heavy losses. Later on, they gradually disappeared without a trace. No one knows if they were wiped out or not. Long Outyin said, You know quite a lot. The golden feather race cultivator looked coldly at Long Outyin. Long Outyin said proudly, Of course, I know a lot of secrets. However, you will soon bring these secrets to the underworld. The golden feather race cultivator said sinisterly. Lin Feng sneered. You're just a rotten corpse. Do you think you can kill us? I can feel the power of a curse from your body. Furthermore, your corpse is already dead and rotten, but your soul is still able to control your body. Logically speaking, after your body dies, your soul should have left your body and dissipated. However, that is not the case for you. Therefore, I conclude that you must have been cursed. The other party sealed your soul in this rotten body of yours. Facing this rotting body every day must be an extremely painful torture for you, right? Most of the time, death is not the most terrifying thing. The most terrifying thing is actually enduring this endless torment. Moreover, there is no end to it. You will have to endure this torment for all eternity, and right now, you are experiencing all of this. Shut up. The golden feather race cultivator said angrily. Clearly, Lin Feng had hit his sore spot. Therefore, this exposed the weakest part of the golden feather race cultivator's heart, something that he was most unwilling to face. The golden feather race cultivator. That was why he was so hysterical and filled with killing intent. Since it has already happened, you still don't dare to face it? Looks like you've been tortured by the power of the curse all these years. Lin Feng said with a smile. The golden feather race cultivator said angrily, Yes, I was tortured by the power of the curse until I wished I was dead. I wanted to commit suicide and destroy my soul, but I couldn't do it. However, as time passed, I gave up on suicide. In fact, I even liked the feeling of being tortured.
If there comes a day when the power of the curse stops tormenting me, I won't be able to get used to it. C. How perverted! Long Outyin cried out. The Golden Feather Race cultivator said, the corpse behind you is him. Before he died, he cursed me. What's up with that little dragon in your arms? Could it be a descendant of the dead dragon race? Or could it be? When he said this, the Golden Feather Race cultivator's eyes lit up. He seemed to have thought of something. Then, he laughed loudly. I've searched high and low for it, only to find it by sheer luck. I've found it. I've finally found it. The Golden Feather Race cultivator shouted excitedly. Perhaps it was because he was too excited, but his body was trembling violently. I found a way to remove the curse on my body. The bloodline of this little dragon will definitely help me remove the curse on my body. The Golden Feather Race cultivator shouted excitedly, and all of you will die. The Golden Feather Race cultivator let out an eerie cry. Next. Chapter 48:51. Let's join forces and get rid of him, Lin Feng said. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng waved his hand. In an instant, 2 evil god stone statues appeared in Lin Feng's hand. Following that, Lin Feng, Long Outyin, and the 2 evil god stone statues surrounded the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator. CK you to death, you bastard, Long Outyin yelled. Long Outyin was still fuming after being forced to retreat by the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator. Now, he wanted nothing more than to chop the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator into pieces. Long Outyin conjured the shadow of an ancestral dragon. The ancestral dragon shadow charged straight at the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator. It seemed that Long Outyin had obtained part of the ancestral dragon's inheritance. Otherwise, he would not have been able to conjure the ancestral dragon shadow. The ancestral dragon shadow was extremely powerful. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws. Its dragon might shook the heavens. It quickly arrived in front of the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator. Then, it swung its huge dragon claws at the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator. Lin Feng summoned the 5 stone swords. The 36 stone swords were the most effective against beings that had transcended epochs. Of course, to be more precise, the being in front of them. There was still a big difference between him and other beings that had transcended epochs. The main reason was that his physical body had already died. Only his soul was left sealed in his decaying body. Therefore, Lin Feng estimated that the suppression of the 5 stone swords on this being would be much weaker. However, so what if it was much weaker? They could still suppress the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator. The 2 evil god stone statues swung their stone swords at the Golden Feather Tribe cultivator. Today, I'll let you have a taste of my power. The Golden Feather Tribe cultivator could not help but sneer in the face of everyone's attacks. 10,000 faces technique. The Golden Feather Tribe cultivator roared. Following that, a huge lawful embodiment of heaven and earth appeared behind him. Then, something shocking happened. When the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth appeared, terrifying beams of light shot out from its eyes. The beams of light shot toward Lin Feng and the others. Bang, bang, bang. Along with the sound of an incomparably violent collision. Lin Feng and the others' attacks were actually all neutralized by the other party. That lawful embodiment of heaven and earth was simply too terrifying. My 10,000 elephant strength technique has a total of 9 levels. Once I reach the 9th level, I will be able to manifest a myriad of phenomena. However, ever since I was cursed, my cultivation has dropped drastically. Thus, I am unable to conjure a myriad of laws and phenomena. However, even if I can only conjure a single law embodiment of heaven and earth, it won't be a problem to deal with you people. The Golden Feather Race cultivator sneered. He was extremely confident in his combat strength. The eyes of the law embodiment of heaven and earth continued to shoot out terrifying beams of light. The terrifying beams of light shot towards Lin Feng, Long Outyin, and the 2 evil god statues. Lin Feng, Long Outyin, the 2 evil god statues were suppressed. He blocked the opponent's attack rather pathetically. If this continued, it would be extremely disadvantageous for Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng and Long Outyin were also very clear about this point. Fortunately, they still had the two evil god statues to share the pressure. Otherwise, the situation would be even worse. The golden feather race cultivator in front of them was simply too terrifying. In the past, this fellow was definitely one of the top experts of the golden feather race. One could imagine how terrifying and powerful the top experts of a race that had transcended eras were. Just thinking about it made one's heart tremble with fear. Fortunately, this fellow's combat strength had already declined greatly compared to his peak. Otherwise, it would be even more difficult to deal with this terrifying existence. The situation is not good. We have to break out of this encirclement quickly, Long Outyin said with a gloomy expression. Lin Feng nodded. He thought so too. There did not seem to be any benefits to continuing to fight with the golden feather race cultivator. Since that was the case, they might as well leave quickly. However, the golden feather race cultivator had completely stalled Lin Feng and the others, preventing them from escaping. This was the most troublesome thing. Therefore, Lin Feng's expression was extremely ugly. As the battle progressed, the situation became more and more unfavorable for Lin Feng and the others. At this moment, the little dragon suddenly cried out. Lin Feng felt waves of energy fluctuations behind him. He turned to look behind him. He immediately saw the skeleton at the back was actually regenerating its flesh and blood. What's going on? After seeing this, Lin Feng was a little surprised. However, Lin Feng immediately rejoiced. If that existence's flesh was regenerating, they might be able to completely turn the tide of this battle. You actually still have such a trump card. The golden feather race cultivator's expression changed drastically after seeing this. The golden feather race cultivator abandoned Lin Feng and pounced on the dragon skeleton that was regenerating. He wanted to stop the Dragon Clan skeleton from regenerating. However, it was too late. The humorous dragon regenerated flesh and blood and slapped at the golden feather race cultivator with its claws. Terrifying beams of light shot out from the eyes of the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth. Those beams of light were all aimed at the dragon race being. However, when those beams of light shone on the dragon creature's body, many mysterious runes appeared on the dragon creature's body. Those runes directly blocked the opponent's attack. Then, the dragon creature slapped the golden feather race cultivator's body with its claws. Bang! Following a violent collision, the golden feather race cultivator was sent flying by the dragon creature's claws. Even the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth was shattered. Half of the golden feather race cultivator's body exploded. The attack just now had severely injured the golden feather race cultivator. How could this be? How could this be? The golden feather race cultivator roared furiously. He could not accept the situation in front of him. The dragon creature said, "I used a curse technique to curse you, so that you would suffer endless pain and torture before the young master arrived. Over the years, have you been tortured to the point of insanity? However, you won't have to suffer this pain very soon because I will destroy your soul later and take away your memories. Many of your memories will be very useful to the young master. I'm going to kill you." The golden feather race cultivator roared with hatred. He quickly pounced on the dragon creature. The dragon creature slapped out with its claws again, and the golden feather race cultivator was sent flying again. This time, his body exploded completely, leaving only his head floating in midair. Seeing the golden feather race cultivator in such a miserable state, Lin Feng and Long Outyin did not have any sympathy for him at all. This fellow was a remnant of the epic lost race. Who knew how many innocent people he had killed back then? No matter what happened to him, it would be satisfying. No one would sympathize with this heinous remnant of the epic lost race cultivator. These people. Chapter 48-52. When Long Outyin saw that the golden feather cultivator was in such a miserable state, he immediately laughed. Suddenly, he laughed as if he was taking pleasure in someone else's misfortune. He said, "Weren't you very pretentious before? Why are you so scared now? When you were alive, you were tricked. After you died, you turned into a rotten corpse and were still tricked. As a top-notch expert of the lost races of this era, it's really tragic for you to end up like this."
What did you say? The golden feather cultivator's head roared angrily. Even though he was left with only his head, his dignity was still very high. He would not allow anyone to challenge his dignity. However, Long Outyin was challenging his dignity. Long Outyin continued to mock him. I said you're an idiot. You're a piece of trash. Don't you understand human language? The golden feather cultivator's head was burning with rage. Back in the day, he had been a lofty figure. Even the sentient life forms born in this era would take a detour when they saw him. However, he was now being looked down upon to such an extent. This infuriated the golden feather cultivator. These cultivators had once been powerful, but due to various reasons, their cultivation had declined. They were the most concerned about dignity, face, and so on. They had once had it. Now, they had lost it. That was why they yearned to be recognized and respected by others. However, what Long Outyin had done, he was trampling on the other party's dignity. How could the other party accept this? Even though he was left with only his head, the golden feather cultivator's head still flew toward Long Outyin. He opened his mouth. He wanted to bite Long Outyin. Long Outyin seemed to have driven him crazy. However, the huge dragon did not give the golden feather cultivator the chance to do so. The huge dragon sealed the golden feather cultivator's head. Then, the dragon claw lightly tapped the golden feather cultivator's head. A mysterious power surged out and enveloped the golden feather cultivator's head. Soon, the head was completely refined into a pile of ashes. In the end, only the golden feather cultivator's soul was left. Don't refine my soul to death. I can't die. I want to reverse fate. I want to reincarnate. The golden feather cultivator's soul begged. When he had first been cursed, he had wanted to die more than once. However, now that he was truly facing death, he was afraid. Alive. Perhaps there would be a chance for him to reincarnate, but if he died, there would be no chance at all. The dragon sneered. He didn't even bother with the golden feather cultivator's pleas for mercy. Very soon, the golden feather race cultivator's soul was refined to death. In the end, the memories of the golden feather cultivator's soul were extracted from the soul origin of the golden feather cultivator. Those soul memories turned into runes. The dragon looked at Xiaolong and said, Young master, there's not much I can do for you. Please, young master, remember these memories. As the dragon creature spoke, it wanted to imprint those memories into the little dragon's mind. But at this moment, Lin Feng said, Wait. The dragon looked at Lin Feng and asked, Why are you stopping me? Lin Feng said, Xiaolong is still young, and the soul memories in your hands must contain endless memories of slaughter. It might even contain the scenes of Xiaolong's ancestors and relatives being massacred. If you give these memories to Xiaolong, won't it be too stimulating? Perhaps you can erase those bad memories and only leave behind some good memories and legacy. Wouldn't that be better for Xiaolong? The dragon creature said, The apocalypse is coming. How can there be so much time left to waste? Young master needs to grow, although young master is still young. But the young master's race is an unparalleled race. Young master must accept all of this. This way, young master will know what happened back then and remember the hatred. This will spur young master to continue growing, allowing him to grow quickly in the apocalypse. He will be able to stand on his own. Only then will he have a chance to survive the destruction of this era. Therefore, the things that are truly helpful to young master are actually those memories that seem extremely cruel. Those good memories, those mystical arts and Tao teachings, they are of no use to young master. Young master doesn't need the legacy of other legacy. After hearing the dragon creature's words, Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. Although he didn't want to admit it, he had to admit that the dragon creature's words made a lot of sense. In the end, Lin Feng nodded and no longer stopped the dragon creature from transferring the memories of the golden feather race cultivators into Xiaolong's mind. Soon, the memories were transferred into Xiaolong's mind. Perhaps it was because there were too many memories in his mind at once. Xiaolong immediately fell asleep. Don't you intend to tell Xiaolong some of the things you know? Lin Feng asked the dragon creature. My memories have long scattered with the wind. Now, all I have left is my last obsession, so I can't give my memories to the young master. Now, seeing that the young master is healthy, I'm very happy.
I hope you can take good care of the young master.
I will, Lin Feng said. As a reward, I'll impart to you a great dragon mystique. Because you're a human cultivator, you may not be able to use this great dragon mystique to its peak. However, as long as you cultivate it well, the power of this great dragon mystique will still be unimaginably powerful. The dragon creature said. Lin Feng was overjoyed when he heard that. He was indeed quite interested in the great dragon mystique. The dragon creature reached out a claw and gently tapped Lin Feng's forehead. A ray of divine light entered Lin Feng's mind. Following that, Lin Feng realized that there was an additional message in his mind. Great Dragon Mystique, Dragon Emperor's Roar. Rumor has it that the Dragon Clan's most powerful soundwave mystique is the most violent soundwave mystique. After successfully cultivating it, one can release the Dragon Emperor's Roar. Any cultivator who hears the Dragon Emperor's Roar will be affected. Those with weak cultivation will die from the shock. Even if one's cultivation is far stronger than the user, if one is attacked by the Dragon Emperor's Roar without any preparation, one will be stunned for at least 3 seconds. Oh my God! When Lin Feng sensed the introduction of this great dragon mystique, his face immediately revealed an extremely shocked expression. The Dragon Emperor's Roar was too powerful. Putting its attack power aside for now, this was because Lin Feng had mastered several powerful attacks. Therefore, it was difficult for Lin Feng to be interested in a soul attack mystique alone. However, the Dragon Emperor's Roar was different. This was because the Dragon Emperor's Roar came with a heaven-defying technique. That was dizziness. Moreover, the additional stun effect could also have a huge impact on those who were far stronger than him. Even if it was just for a second, it could reverse the final outcome of this battle. Moreover, the Dragon Emperor's Roar could stun for at least 3 seconds. In other words, it was possible to stun for even longer. Chapter 48-53. He had obtained the Dragon Emperor's Roar. Lin Feng's mood instantly became extremely good. He had to master this Dragon Clan's great divine ability as soon as possible. When the time came, it would definitely be of great use. Senior, thank you for the divine ability. Lin Feng cupped his fists in gratitude. You deserve it. The Dragon Clan being said, where's mine? Where's my divine ability? I'm taking care of this dragon brat like he's my own child. Long Outyin hurriedly said. This fellow was truly shameless. Even if he was lying through his teeth, his face would not turn red. Of course, Lin Feng did not expose Long Outyin's true colors. If Long Outyin could benefit from it and increase his cultivation by a large margin, Lin Feng was naturally happy for Long Outyin. Later, after my obsession dissipates, you can take my Saint Bone away. When the time comes, you can refine it into your body. It should be of great help to your cultivation. The Dragon Clan being said, Saint Bone? Holy H*T. You're my ancestor. Long Outyin immediately jumped up and down in joy. He really looked like an idiot. Lin Feng was speechless. Lin Feng looked at the Dragon Clan being and asked, Senior, can you tell this junior what race Xiaolong is? The Dragon Clan being could not help but frown slightly. It seemed to be hesitating whether or not to tell him. It seemed like it had some reservations in its heart. Lin Feng asked, Xiaolong, could he be the Dragon Emperor's son? Why do you ask? The Dragon Clan being asked as it looked at Lin Feng in surprise. Lin Feng said, I've heard some things about the Dragon Emperor. It's said that before the calamity descended, the Dragon Emperor ordered his subordinates to bring his son away. However, I believe that some living beings would go after the Dragon Emperor's son. Later on, I heard that the Dragon Emperor's son might very well be on this island. Senior, for your corpse to appear here, you must have been hunted down by those lost epics, right? Moreover, Xiaolong was once close to Senior, yet Senior addressed Xiaolong as young lord. My guess is that Senior must have stayed with Xiaolong for quite some time. Senior might have hidden Xiaolong when Senior was being hunted down and came to this dragon island by himself. In the end, both sides suffered great losses and both sides perished. Moreover, Xiaolong's bloodline is too strong. Among the known dragon clans, there doesn't seem to be a Xiaolong clan. Later generations don't know much about the prehistoric dragon clan, nor do they know much about the prehistoric dragon emperor. Therefore, Xiaolong could very well be a prehistoric dragon clan member, or even a prehistoric dragon emperor's son. Do you believe in coincidences in this world? The dragon asked Lin Feng. Lin Feng nodded and said, I believe you. He then asked, Senior, are you saying that many things are just coincidences, and Xiaolong isn't the dragon emperor's son? That's right, the dragon said. Then, it sighed and said, after thinking about it, I still can't tell you about young lord's origins because it won't do you any good. On the contrary, it won't do you any harm if you learn about it later. When young lord gradually grows up and unlocks the bloodline shackles, young lord will know about his origins. At that time, you will also know everything. Even the Golden Feather clan cultivators don't know? Lin Feng asked. How could he be qualified to know? The dragon race being sneered. Lin Feng couldn't help but be surprised. What was Xiaolong's origin? He could deduce it from the dragon's words. Xiaolong's origin. It was definitely enough to scare someone to death. Unfortunately for now, it was impossible to know Xiaolong's origin. At this time, the dragon's physical body began to gradually disappear. Clearly, its time was up. Young lord, you must stay strong and live on. The dragon race being said in an extremely sorrowful manner. However, there was no turning back now. No one could save the dragon clan's living beings. Lin Feng couldn't do that either. He could only watch as the dragon's body gradually turned into a cold skeleton. Let me return to ashes, dust to dust, the dragon said. As soon as its voice fell, its body turned into a skeleton. Then, the dragon's skeleton burned. In the end, all that was left of his skeleton was a piece of saint bone that was surrounded by saint power. The rest of the skeleton turned into ashes. Senior, rest in peace, Lin Feng said in a deep voice. His heart was extremely heavy. Long Outyin couldn't help but sigh. His heart was also heavy. Separation in life and death. It was easy to feel sad. I suddenly want to see someone. I wonder how she is now. Long Outyin said. Her? A woman? Lin Feng looked at Long Outyin in surprise. The frivolous Long Outyin actually became sad because of a woman? Long Outyin said. There was once a sincere love placed in front of me. I didn't cherish it. It was too late to regret it when I lost it. There's nothing more painful in the world than this. If the heavens could give me a chance to do it again, I would say 3 words to that girl. I love you. If there's a time limit on this love, I hope it's 10,000 years. After hearing Long Outyin's words, Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. This didn't sound like something Long Outyin would say. Where the hell did you copy this from? It's so sad and touching, Lin Feng said. Long Outyin said. Who copied it? This is original, understand? Lin Feng didn't dwell on this topic. He looked at Long Outyin and said, You can go and see her. Long Outyin said with a sad face, I've been suppressed for so long. Perhaps she's long gone. Long Outyin was very sad. Lin Feng could feel his low mood. He could also feel his terrible mood. It was just as Long Outyin said. The reason why Long Outyin was still so young was because the stone ball that sealed him was very special. It isolated the flow of time. That was why Long Outyin was still alive. However, the woman that Long Outyin was talking about, perhaps she had died of old age. Even if she didn't die of old age, she might have died in the catastrophe. After all, Long Outyin was a living being before the primordial age. During that time, there were many catastrophes and countless living beings died tragically. Lin Feng patted Long Outyin's shoulder. He didn't console Long Outyin. He had to rely on himself. Chapter 48-54. Lin Feng and Long Outyin left the abyss. They went outside and found a place to go into seclusion. Lin Feng sent Xiaolong into the space-time space. Xiaolong should still need some time to digest those memories. Long Outyin was refining the Dragon Clan's sacred bone that he obtained. Lin Feng began to comprehend the Dragon Emperor's roar, the Dragon Clan's great divine ability. This Dragon Clan's great divine ability was very powerful. Lin Feng naturally wanted to cultivate this divine ability as soon as possible. With Lin Feng's current understanding of the Tao, It wasn't particularly difficult to comprehend this divine ability. After Long Outyin refined the sacred bone, Lin Feng had already successfully comprehended the Dragon Emperor's roar. Of course, Lin Feng was only at the beginning. He wanted to cultivate this divine ability to a higher level. Obviously, it wasn't that easy. It would take a long time to polish it. Lin Feng and Long Outyin continued to walk deeper into the abyss. Lin Feng and Long Outyin were very interested in the prehistoric Dragon Emperor's legacy. However, they didn't know where the legacy of the prehistoric Dragon Emperor was. Other than the legacy of the prehistoric Dragon Emperor, they were also very interested in the prehistoric Dragon Emperor's son. Now, they could confirm that Xiaolong wasn't the prehistoric Dragon Emperor's son. Then, could the purple Xiaolong they saw earlier be the prehistoric Dragon Emperor's son? This point, Lin Feng and Long Outyin weren't too sure. They could only come to a conclusion after confirming it. On this day, Lin Feng and Long Outyin saw the purple Xiaolong again. The purple Xiaolong was fighting with a flaming demon wolf king. The flaming demon wolf king was a king-level creature on Dragon Island. Its battle strength was very terrifying. Moreover, the flaming demon wolf king was different from the dragon-eating scorpion that Xiaolong killed earlier. Although the dragon-eating scorpion was also very powerful, it was because of its huge size. Facing the smaller Xiaolong, it would be at a disadvantage in terms of speed. The flaming demon wolf king was different. The Inferno Demon Wolf King was 5 to 6 meters long and 3 to 4 meters tall. It wasn't much different from the purple dragon. As such, the Raging Flame Demon Wolf King's body was extremely agile. It would not be easy for the little purple dragon to suppress the flaming demon wolf king with its speed. The Inferno Monstrous Wolf King had a huge advantage in terms of strength. As such, the little purple dragon had suffered quite a bit in its battle with the flaming demon wolf king. Bang, bang, bang. Sounds of violent collisions could be heard. The little purple dragon was sent flying again and again by the flaming demon wolf king. However, the little purple dragon did not back down. This little fellow, advance courageously. Never give up. Even though its injuries were getting worse and worse, the little purple dragon still had no intention of retreating. The Inferno Demon Wolf King, on the other hand, looked at the little purple dragon with a mocking expression. Clearly, in the Raging Flame Demonic Wolf King's opinion, Xiaolong was dead for sure. Is this little dragon stupid? It doesn't know how to run. Outyin was speechless. If it were Long Outyin, he would have run away long ago. It's challenging its own limits. It wants to use this opportunity to break through its own shackles. Lin Feng said. Even so, he still needs to consider his own combat strength. Against the Raging Flame Monstrous Wolf King, who is extremely fast and has a terrifying cultivation base, he will only be oppressed. This guy's head must be damaged. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so arrogant as to challenge the Raging Flame Monstrous Wolf King. Outyin said. He wanted to help the little purple dragon. However, he was stopped by Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, "Don't worry, let's wait and see." Outyin nodded. He continued to look at the battlefield. Bang! At this moment, accompanied by a violent collision sound, the little purple dragon was once again sent flying by the flaming demon wolf king. This time, the little purple dragon suffered an even more serious injury. Many of the purple dragon scales on the little purple dragon's body had fallen off. Dragon blood kept flowing out. It struggled to get up from the ground. The flaming demon wolf king looked at the little purple dragon like a cat playing with a mouse. Then, it walked towards the little purple dragon step by step. Roar! Suddenly, a deep roar came from the Raging Flame Demon Wolf King's throat. When the roar was heard, the crowd was stunned. The flaming demon wolf king had already leaped out and pounced towards the little purple dragon. The flaming demon wolf king seemed to be looking down on the little purple dragon. However, when it really attacked, the flaming demon wolf king was more cautious. The Wolf Clan. They had always been a cunning and cautious clan. For example, the flaming demon wolf king in front of them. It wanted to kill the little purple dragon with a single blow. However, at this moment, the little purple dragon began to move forward. Its steps were very special. There seemed to be a special rhythm mixed into its steps.
The little purple dragon took a total of 9 steps. In the next moment, endless killing intent surged out from the little purple dragon's body. After feeling the terrifying killing intent from the little purple dragon, Lin Feng couldn't help but reveal an extremely shocked expression. That killing intent was too terrifying, making him feel a chill run down his spine. Was this really the killing intent that a young dragon could condense? Even Long Outyin was very shocked. He obviously didn't expect the little purple dragon to have such a move. The killing intent surging out from the little purple dragon should be related to its steps just now. Lin Feng didn't know what kind of steps it was. Perhaps it was a powerful magical ability passed down by the dragon clan? The little purple dragon also leaped up and charged towards the flaming demon wolf king. The two sides met in midair. Then, they both raised their claws and slapped at each other. The little purple dragon's claws were surrounded by dense killing intent. Bang! In the next moment, the two sides collided. The little purple dragon's attack. It actually broke the flaming demon wolf king's attack. The flaming demon wolf king was sent flying. The little purple dragon's body fell to the ground. Then, it leaped out and instantly pounced on the flaming demon wolf king. The little purple dragon opened its mouth. It bared its fangs. Then, it bit towards the flaming demon wolf king's neck. Crack! The little purple dragon bit off the flaming demon wolf king's neck. Then, the little purple dragon and the flaming demon wolf king fell to the ground at the same time. The flaming demon wolf king twitched violently a few times and then completely stopped breathing. The little purple dragon lay on the ground, motionless. The little purple dragon's injuries were also very serious, especially the attack just now. It made the little purple dragon almost exhausted. The little purple dragon's eyelids seemed to be closing. It seemed to be going to sleep. The little purple dragon was really too tired. At this time, Lin Feng and Long Outyin walked out from their hiding place. Then, they walked towards the little purple dragon. The little purple dragon, who was about to fall asleep, saw Lin Feng and Long Outyin. It actually struggled to stand up again and looked at Lin Feng and Long Outyin with vigilance. Right now, it's almost completely relying on its willpower to stand up. This little purple dragon's willpower is just too strong. Chapter 48-55. Earlier, the little purple dragon had led Lin Feng and Long Outyin to a place where a group of dragon kings had gathered. Lin Feng and Long Outyin had been attacked by the dragon kings because of that. Fortunately, the little dragon had used the dragon emperor's deterrent skill to buy some time for Lin Feng and Long Outyin. Lin Feng and Long Outyin had managed to escape. It was obvious that the little purple dragon was an extremely intelligent being. Therefore, Lin Feng knew that the little purple dragon could definitely understand what he was saying. Lin Feng said, "Little guy, we don't mean any harm. We just want to check on your injuries." The little purple dragon still looked at Lin Feng cautiously. It did not believe Lin Feng just because of Lin Feng's words. The little purple dragon was extremely cautious. Of course, there was nothing wrong with being careful. There was nothing wrong with the little purple dragon's actions. "Kid, I'll give you a chance now. Follow me from now on. I won't mistreat you. When the time comes, I'll nurture you into a peerless powerhouse," Long Outyin said with an arrogant look on his face. After hearing Long Outyin's words, the little purple dragon looked at him with disdain. F***CK, how dare you look down on me? Are you asking for a beating? Long Outyin glared at the little dragon. He was despised by the little dragon. This made Long Outyin extremely depressed. After all, Long Outyin was an extremely prideful person. He could not accept being despised by the little dragon. Roar! The little dragon let out a low roar. Then, an extremely powerful battle intent emanated from the little dragon's body. After feeling the powerful battle intent emanating from the little dragon, Lin Feng could not help but look impressed. The little dragon was injured to such an extent and was almost exhausted. However, it was still full of battle intent. In this world, there was never a lack of cultivation geniuses. However, those cultivation geniuses would eventually disappear from the world. Why was that? The reason was that their willpower was not strong enough.
They faced all kinds of temptations. Those geniuses gradually lost their way. Or when they encountered some difficulties, those geniuses chose to take a shortcut, instead of facing difficulties head-on. Therefore, due to various reasons, those geniuses lost themselves and did not truly grow up. In the final analysis, or was it because those geniuses' willpower wasn't strong enough? If one's willpower was strong enough, such a thing would never happen again. The biggest advantage of this little purple dragon was not how strong its talent was, but its willpower was too strong. Lin Feng himself was also one of those people with strong willpower. As such, towards Xiaolong, Lin Feng actually quite admired him. People were often like this. They appreciated people with similar personalities. Brat, do you really think that Master Long has a good temper? I'm going to beat you up right now, Long Outyin said fiercely. Lin Feng said, You have the nerve to bully a dragon whelp? Long Outyin quibbled, I'm not bullying you. I'm just sparring. Do you understand? Don't slander me. Although he said that, Long Outyin did not make a move in the end. Are you the son of the prehistoric dragon emperor? Lin Feng looked at Xiaolong and asked. Xiaolong shook his head. Do you know where the son of the prehistoric dragon emperor is? Lin Feng continued to ask. Xiaolong continued to shake his head. Then do you know where the prehistoric dragon emperor is buried? Lin Feng asked for the third time. Xiaolong extended his claw and pointed in a direction. Then, he spoke a sentence in the dragon race's language. What is he saying? Lin Feng looked at Long Outyin and asked. He said that we can search in the direction he pointed. Rumor has it that the prehistoric dragon emperor is buried in a certain location in that direction. Long Outyin said, Thank you. Lin Feng cupped his fists at Xiaolong. Xiaolong then turned around and left. Lin Feng did not stop Xiaolong from leaving. Long Outyin wanted to make a move, but Lin Feng stopped him with his gaze. After Xiaolong left, Long Outyin asked, Why did you stop me? Lin Feng said, Xiaolong's willpower is too strong. You can't force it to do something it doesn't want to do. If you do that, what do you think it will do? Long Outyin frowned slightly. I think it will fight back with all its might. If it can't win, it might even choose death. It won't choose to submit. Lin Feng said. Long Outyin smiled bitterly. If you think about it carefully, it is indeed possible for Xiaolong to do something like that. Lin Feng said, That's why I stopped you. Let it leave. Its willpower is so strong. I think that if it can grow up smoothly, its future will be limitless. If we form a good relationship with it now, it might be beneficial for us in the future. Long Outyin nodded. Lin Feng then said, Let's go. Let's go to the direction Xiaolong mentioned. Let's see if we can find the burial ground of the prehistoric dragon emperor. Long Outyin said, You really believe that little dragon's words? Lin Feng said, Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? I don't think it has any reason to trick us. Lin Feng and Long Outyin headed deeper into the forest. 10 days later, they passed by a forest. Suddenly, a sinister wind swept across the land. Demonic energy surged and covered the sky. Lin Feng and Long Outyin were trapped in the violent demonic energy. When they saw this, Lin Feng and Long Outyin's expressions turned grave. They had no idea what had sealed this place. Kid, have you thought about how you want to die? At that moment, a sinister voice sounded. A sinister and terrifying existence appeared in the demonic energy. This existence was none other than the Eternal Heaven Monarch. When he saw the Eternal Heaven Monarch, Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. Lin Feng had not expected to meet the Eternal Heaven Monarch here. This was going to be troublesome. Back then, Goddess Ruoxue had been able to suppress the Eternal Heaven Monarch because she was too strong. Lin Feng had no way of suppressing the Eternal Heaven Monarch. Even if the Eternal Heaven Monarch had turned into a Yin god, he was still a master god from the era of conferred gods. Therefore, the Eternal Heaven Monarch was still unfathomable. I really did not expect to meet you here. I want to eat your flesh and drink your blood. At this moment, another eerie and terrifying voice rang out. In the next moment, 2 cultivators walked out of the demonic energy. The one who spoke was none other than the king of the foreign creatures who had been suppressed by the Confucian sect. The other person was the female cultivator who had saved the king of the foreign creatures.
Chapter 4856. F***CK. The situation doesn't seem too good. Long Outyin gloomily looked at the three experts around him. Needless to say, the Eternal Heaven Monarch's cultivation was unimaginably strong. The same went for the King of Foreign Creatures. The weakest one was the female cultivator beside the King of Foreign Creatures. But that was only relative. To be honest, that female cultivator's combat strength was extremely terrifying. If anyone dared to underestimate that female cultivator, they would definitely not have a good ending. Of course, Lin Feng and Long Outyin would not underestimate that female cultivator either. Originally, Lin Feng's heart had sunk to the bottom of the valley. But after a short moment of worry, he thought of a countermeasure. Therefore, his originally serious expression could not help but relax. Lin Feng sneered and said, "So it's you losers. This young master did not go looking for you, but you actually came looking for this young master. Are you tired of living?" Long Outyin, who was at the side, wailed in his heart, F***CK. Brother, can you stop bragging? What kind of situation is this? You're still bragging. Of course, Long Outyin naturally did not say these words out loud. He only muttered in his heart. Right now, Long Outyin's mind was filled with thoughts of how to break out of this encirclement. But for the time being, he did not dare to act rashly. Because, if there were any strange movements, when the time came, he might even have to endure a thunderous attack from the other party. At that time, he would definitely die. When the three experts heard Lin Feng's words, they could not help but be slightly stunned. Next, the three experts' faces instantly turned gloomy. Lin Feng actually dared to look down on the three of them like this. How could the three of them not be angry? The Eternal Heaven Monarch said, "Kid, don't you know what you're capable of? You actually dare to act cool in front of us. I think you're tired of living, right? Now that goddess Ruoxue is not by your side. Do you think there's anyone who can save your life today?" The foreign king also sneered and said, "Brat, back in the Confucian sect, you ruined my plans, and even in my dreams, I wanted to cut you into 1,000 pieces. Now, I finally found the chance. With your meager strength, I can crush you with a single finger. I really don't know where you get the courage to brag in front of me." The two of them were extremely powerful. Naturally, he did not put Lin Feng in his eyes. The female cultivator didn't say anything, but she looked at Lin Feng with contempt. Clearly, the female cultivator also looked down on Lin Feng. They didn't just look down on Lin Feng. At the same time, he did not take Long Outyin seriously. To them, killing Lin Feng and Long Outyin was too easy. At this point, the Eternal Heaven Monarch said, "Fellow Taoist, I was the one who discovered this brat first. So, you should give him to me." The foreign king said, "I have great enmity with this child. If Dao Friend is willing to give this child to me, I will definitely remember Dao Friend's favor." Lin Feng was surprised. He had thought that these people knew each other, but now it seemed like they didn't know each other. If that was the case, was it a coincidence that the three of them met? When he thought of this, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel speechless. To think that he would meet the Eternal Heaven Monarch and the foreign king by chance. Moreover, he met the two of them at the same time. Wasn't this too unlucky? Lin Feng felt that he was really unlucky. However, no matter how unlucky he was, he still had to face this matter head-on. Besides, Lin Feng also had a trump card. He was full of confidence. Lin Feng said, "You two, stop arguing. You're going to meet the King of Hell later. What's the point of arguing about such useless things? Big brother, can we stop bragging?" At the side, Long Outyin looked like he was about to cry. In Long Outyin's opinion, Lin Feng was simply too good at bragging. Long Outyin really wanted to say that he didn't know this braggart. Could he just let him go? However, Long Outyin also knew that it was useless to say those words. Therefore, he didn't say those words out loud. Given the current situation, he could only take one step at a time. As for the Eternal Heaven Monarch and the Foreign King, they were trembling in anger at Lin Feng's words. The Eternal Heaven Monarch said coldly, "Die, brat." As soon as he finished speaking, the Eternal Heaven Monarch opened his palm and slammed it toward Long Outyin. A huge energy palm condensed in the void. The huge energy palm contained a power that could destroy the world.
After sensing the terrifying aura of the huge energy palm, Long Outyen's face turned pale. He shouted, "I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm really dead now." Of course, Long Outyen didn't just sit there and wait for death. He began to circulate his magic power as though he was about to launch a counterattack. At this moment, the foreign king unleashed an attack as well. He waved his palm gently in the void. All of a sudden, a cold gleam condensed. That cold gleam slashed out at Lin Feng and Long Outyen. The aura of that cold gleam was extremely horrifying. Naturally, it wasn't something that any ordinary person could fight against. Long Outyen's face was even more terrible now. The attack of the Eternal Heaven Monarch was already this tyrannical. Right now, the foreign king had struck as well. With this, it seemed like it would be even more difficult to defend against the other party's attack. However, at this moment, Lin Feng took out a treasure. The treasure that Lin Feng took out was none other than the true dragon crouching heavens diagram. This treasure was far from simple. It was a forbidden weapon that the Confucian sect had created based on the ancient weapon, the true dragon crouching heavens diagram. Once the power of a forbidden weapon was released, it would be extremely horrifying. Some forbidden weapons could even release up to 90% of the original weapon's power. Lin Feng activated the true dragon crouching heavens diagram. Buzz. The true dragon crouching heavens diagram vibrated violently. Immediately after, the true dragon crouching heavens diagram expanded rapidly. In the blink of an eye, the true dragon crouching heavens diagram had turned into a gigantic ancient diagram that covered an area of 1 mu. The true dragon crouching heavens diagram swept out 2 terrifying beams of light. The 2 beams of light blasted out towards the attacks of the Eternal Heaven Monarch and the Foreign King respectively. Bang! Bang! Accompanied by 2 violent collisions, the sound of 2 violent collisions was heard. The 2 beams of light from the true dragon crouching heavens diagram instantly destroyed the attacks of the Eternal Heaven Monarch and the Foreign King. Holy *T, that's awesome. Seeing the power of the true dragon crouching heavens diagram, Long Outyen couldn't help but exclaim. Lin Feng controlled the true dragon crouching heavens diagram to attack the Eternal Heaven Monarch, the Foreign King, and the female cultivator. One beam of light after another surged out from the true dragon crouching heavens diagram. Chapter 48:57. The 3 powerful beings had already witnessed the horrifying power of those light beams. Hence, when the true dragon crouching heavens diagram once again swept out those light beams, the faces of the 3 powerful beings changed drastically. Everyone's face couldn't help but reveal a dignified expression. Obviously, they had not expected Lin Feng to have such a powerful move up his sleeves. Of course, the 3 powerful beings were not to be trifled with either. The Eternal Heaven Lord took out the Black Prison Monument. The King of the Foreign Creatures took out a war spear. As for the female cultivator, she took out a curved blade. The 3 powerful beings controlled their powerful magic treasures and charged towards those light beams. Clang, 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 clang. After a series of collisions, the light beams swept out by the true dragon crouching heavens diagram were destroyed by the 3 powerful beings. The Eternal Heaven Lord said, "This is just a forbidden weapon. Even though it's powerful, it doesn't last for long. There's no need to worry that this fella can hurt us with this forbidden weapon. Let's work harder, and we'll be able to kill this fella soon." The King of the Foreign Creatures and the female cultivator naturally thought so too. They did not think that Lin Feng could cause any waves. As such, the 3 powerful beings strengthened their attacks. Powerful magical powers surged endlessly into their magic treasures. They activated their magic treasures to neutralize the attacks of the true dragon crouching heavens diagram. At this very moment, Lin Feng was still familiarizing himself with the power of the true dragon crouching heavens diagram. After all, this was the first time he had activated such a powerful forbidden weapon. He did not have a deep understanding of the power of this top-grade forbidden weapon. This required a process of familiarization. Once he was completely familiar with this supreme treasure, when the time came, he would definitely be able to unleash the full power of this supreme treasure. Just like right now, Lin Feng felt that his control over the true dragon crouching heavens diagram was getting stronger and stronger. True dragon crouching heavens, destroying the world. Lin Feng's cold voice suddenly rang out between the heavens and earth. Roar! All of a sudden, a loud dragon roar rang out between the heavens and earth. Following that, the true dragon crouching heavens diagram underwent a transformation. From a gigantic ancient diagram, the true dragon crouching heavens diagram turned into a gigantic dragon instantly. It was a true dragon. Its purple scales flickered with a cold luster, and its eyes shot out a terrifying light. The power of the true dragon crouching heavens diagram was needless to say. Now that he had transformed into the body of a true dragon, his battle prowess soared. That kind of power, Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. That true dragon bared its fangs and brandished its claws, shaking its head and wagging its tail as it launched an attack on the three powerhouses. Huff, huff, huff. The true dragon opened its bloody maw and spat out a dragon breath that filled the sky. The dragon breath attack had always been one of the most powerful techniques of the dragon tribe. This was the innate ability of the dragon clan. Once it was unleashed, its power would naturally be boundless. Right now, this true dragon transformed from the true dragon Futian diagram displayed the dragon clan's natal super ability. Its power was unimaginable. The three powerhouses moved to block the dragon breath attack. But the dragon breath attack was very special. Dragon breath was a special kind of energy that fused the dragon origin energy and the dragon clan's aura to form an attack. Therefore, the races were different. The power of dragon breath was also very different. At the same time, the dragon breath attacked the cultivators from all directions. Ordinary Dharma treasures couldn't block the dragon breath attack. If one wanted to resist the dragon breath attack, one could only use a super ability or use a defensive Dharma treasure to block the dragon breath attack. The three powerhouses didn't hesitate at all. They chose to use their super abilities to resist the dragon breath attack. The three powerhouses had high cultivation realms and were very powerful. They couldn't be afraid at all. So what if the true dragon Futian diagram had transformed into a true dragon? The three powerhouses still felt that they could neutralize the attack of the true dragon Futian diagram. They couldn't be bothered to use a defensive Dharma treasure. When the eternal Sky Lord used his mystique, eternal divine brilliance, boundless divine light poured out from behind him. The divine light seemed to transform into an eternal divine sun. When the eternal divine sun illuminated the heavens, something shocking happened. The eternal divine sun withstood the attack of the dragon breath. The eternal heaven lord was indeed powerful. Although he had turned into a Een spirit, he still had some of the top super abilities of the past. The king of the foreign creatures also displayed a powerful super ability. The foreign creatures began to recite an incantation. After his incantation, between heaven and earth, unexpectedly, a vast ocean had appeared. That vast ocean, it let out a loud rumbling sound. In the vast ocean, waves surged to the sky. When the dragon breath rushed over, the waves in the vast ocean collided with the dragon breath. The dragon breath was blocked by the vast ocean. The female cultivator's methods were also very extraordinary. Although her combat strength couldn't compare to the eternal heaven lord and the king of the foreign creatures, but the inheritance that she had mastered wasn't much weaker than theirs. The female cultivator's jade-like hands kept changing hand seals. Suddenly, a huge moon rose into the sky. In the bright moon, there was a jade rabbit. The jade rabbit and the bright moon complemented each other. No one knew what kind of super ability it was. The dragon breath that rushed toward the female cultivator was blocked by the rising moon and the jade rabbit. The three powerhouses' attacks were indeed very powerful. But the true dragon's attack wasn't over yet. The true dragon was still spewing out powerful dragon breath. At this time, Lin Feng took out the Hui Bao and the Sunshot Divine Arrow. In addition to the Sunshot Divine Arrow, Lin Feng also took out many magic arrows. 7 stars piercing the moon. 9 stars aligned. Arrows were shot out by Lin Feng. At the same time, Lin Feng's Sunshot Divine Arrow was also hidden among the many magic arrows. Those arrows were shot at the three powerhouses. The magic arrows were shattered by the attacks of the three powerhouses. Ordinary magic arrows couldn't hurt these powerhouses. But Lin Feng's true killing move was the Sunshot Divine Arrow. The Sunshot Divine Arrow was hidden among the ordinary magic arrows. The three powerhouses couldn't discover the Sunshot Divine Arrow. When they discovered it, it was already too late. The Sunshot Divine Arrow's target was the king of the foreign creatures. Previously, when he was in the Confucian sect, Lin Feng had used the Sunshot Divine Arrow to injure the king of the foreign creatures. This time, the Sunshot Divine Arrow once again quickly pierced through the boundless ocean that the king of the foreign creatures had created. Then, it shot murderously towards the king of the foreign creatures. When the king of the foreign creatures saw the Sunshot Divine Arrow, it was already too late. Damn it! The king of the foreign creatures couldn't help but curse. Pooh! The king of the foreign creatures had just finished cursing. The Sunshot Divine Arrow already pierced through the king of the foreign creature's body. The king of the foreign creatures released a miserable scream. After the Confucian sect broke free, the king of the foreign creatures had never recovered. Now, his body was once again pierced through by the Sunshot Divine Arrow. Meanwhile, at this time, Long Outyin activated a heaven-overturning seal, fiercely smashing it towards the king of the foreign creatures. The two sides cooperated extremely well. The king of the foreign creatures' expression was ugly, a palm smashing towards the heaven-overturning seal. However, the hasty attack, together with the injuries on his body, caused the king of the foreign creatures' fighting strength to plummet. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.